yet they feel so nice. It is a bigger looking watch. It is going to be very comfortable to wear, very thick, very tall. I love when people want to start admonishing some of these smaller off-brands for, I can't believe they're just making these big old gosh darn dare watches there. There ain't nobody else of any substance really making them there big old dang dare watches. Yeah, they are. Here's one right here. It's a bigger watch. It's the way it is. Get used to it. And it's fine. Another thing, and I do want to show you this if I can, different Omegas use different bracelets, but no, this one is going to have screws in the links. For those of you that have owned Seamasters, you know the Seamaster bracelet, the James Bond bracelet, that one actually uses friction pins. It's another one people just go, I can't believe some company out there is making such a cheap watch they're using friction pins. Well, even Omega does that from time to time, so just keep that in mind. This one does use screws, however. They are two-sided screws. I would suggest going to a jeweler to have those taken out. Otherwise, you're going to stab yourself trying to hold two screwdrivers and the bracelet shifts. Trust me, it's not fun. All right, so what you're getting is a $9,250 Swiss-made Omega. You're going to get that tonight for $5,000. That is almost dealer's cost. I want you to realize that. And you've got payments of $833.33. As always, we give you a guarantee of authenticity. Don't listen to morons that have big mouths on the internet. If for some reason you think that we're not selling you an authentic item, buy it. Put it on a payment even. If it's not authentic for some reason, you just don't like it, it doesn't fit you, color ain't what you wanted, send it back within 30 days, you get 100% of your money back. We even pay return shipping. So we have nothing to hide, never have, never will. 266-545. Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and move on. We're going to get into a Bell & Ross, I do believe. I hate to put this down, but we will re-air this again before the night is over, I'm sure. All right. This next watch is going to blow a lot of people's minds. It really is. It is incredibly well made, incredibly comfortable. We're looking at a BRS 98. This is going to be the all ceramic. I don't know why it says black IP steel, because it really is all ceramic. The all ceramic Bell & Ross aviator style instrument watch. They've done something with this that I don't recall seeing any other brand do, and I find it to be very, very interesting. First, we'll show you the whole watch and give you an idea of what I'm talking about. First off, yeah, everything's blacked out. The unique thing, you get down here to your ceramic bracelet, it is so wonderfully flexible. Look at this. What? Look what they've done. They've backed it with rubber. Now, they've given you sections here that you can cut when you go to size the bracelet. You will have to cut the rubber sections. Please keep that in mind. Have a professional jeweler do this. This is not a cheap bracelet. You don't want to have to replace the bracelet. So please listen to me when I tell you that. But what it does is it gives you a superior flexibility and comfort when you're wearing it. It really, truly is a magnificent feel on the wrist. It's one of the smaller sized BR series, so you're looking at about a 42 to 43 millimeter. As you see, it is a fingerprint magnet. Swiss-made, of course, being Bell & Ross. They are the ones that made the instrument-style watch famous. I didn't hear what you said anyway. What? Okay. What you're getting into here is a top-loaded case. And where this differs from most other watches, you have your case. They assemble the movement, the dial, the hands, all that kind of good stuff. And they bring it in through the rear. Then they screw down the case back, and they've pressed in the crystal. This one's done in the opposite. Take a look here. What you have is the outer case is the bottom portion here. That little seam that you see right there is actually your top case. So what they're doing is they're dropping the movement in, and they're fixing it in from the rear. Then they're dropping the dial on. Then they're dropping the hands in place. Then they're pressing in the sapphire crystal and screwing it down here. The bezel is actually part of the top case. And I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, they actually press in the crystal into the top case and bezel before they do the final assembly. So there it is. Your sub-dial at the 6 o'clock position is going to be for your seconds. Now, you're wondering to yourself, okay, it's not going to be the easiest watch to read already in the light, But what happens at night? The whole darn thing is black. What do? Check this out. You do have the black Super Luminova. So you've got a watch that is actually useful. Not going to be the brightest lume out of all the watches in your collection, but it is functional. I'm going to go ahead and put this bad boy on the wrist. Oh, wow. That's a small bracelet, boy. 7.5-inch wrist, and I'm actually stretching it a little bit. So do keep that in mind. It's a shorter bracelet on this, and that might, unfortunately, eliminate some of you from being able to own this. Now, this is a $5,200 Swiss-made Bell & Ross in all ceramic. You're going to get it for $24.19. The overall size wears like a 45. Keep that in mind. Being square, a 42 in a square actually wears bigger. Got 6 payments of $403.33. My buddy Rhino is in the Twitter universe here. Says loves him an Omega. Indeed, I love the Omegas as well. That is a beautiful piece. I think that one's going to sell out before the hour ends, but if it doesn't, we will show it again in one of the next hours. Now we're going to go into something wildly different, actually, and it's going to be in Bulova. The other cool thing is this is actually wildly different from all the other Bulovas and Accutrons that we air. This is an Accutron 2. What the Accutron 2 series really is all about, really it's fashion. When you buy a Bulova, you're usually getting a pretty technical watch. You get into Accutron, because remember they are the same company. Accutron will be their Swiss-made higher-end watches. Then you get to the Accutron 2 series, and you're getting into watches that are not necessarily going to be Swiss-made, and they're going to be less technical. They're going to be much more about fashion and how they look and the overall design. You're going to get into a blue dial. I know it looks black on that shot right there, but it actually is a deep, dark blue dial. And you're going to get into the blue leather strap. Let's take a look here at the profile, because that's really going to be the key for this. This is called the Moon View. What you've got here, they're celebrating Accutron's history with having watches that have gone into outer space. Now, this does not have the tuning fork movement or anything like that. And this is kind of an offshoot from their Space View. The Space View was a really, really cool watch. You could see all the way through into the actual movement of the watch as you were wearing it, which was something we didn't really see unless it was a mechanical or automatic movement back in those days, so it was kind of neat. So this kind of has that spaceshipy, very sci-fi look going on. You have that saucer case back, which, believe it or not, is actually very, very comfortable because you only have a small amount of surface that's touching your skin. Very cool looking watch here. I do want to give it a measure because I do believe it looks larger than it actually is. It looks like a 44, but it's not. It is a 41 and a half. So I'm going to call it a 42, but it wears more like a 43 to 44. They sell this for $450. We're going to bring it out for $269.99. Now, I want you to think about this. There are going to be a lot of great watches this weekend for you to choose from, and I'm certainly going to hope that everybody that's watching is going to buy something. You're going to find something that you're going to fall in love with, but don't forget about your friends and your family. You're going to have some events coming up this year where you just need to have a really great gift lying around. This is a really great one to have for that purpose. It's simple. It's clean. It's got a modern vintage look to it, being that it's kind of got that sci-fi look going on. And it's something that's special. It's something that's unique, that's not found every day. You're only spending $269.99, and when you use the payments, you only pay $45 to get your hands on it. That's a pretty nice deal. Yeah. Here is your Super Luminova that's being used in the Accutron 2s. 263478. We're not going to waste a lot of time on any one watch until I get to something that I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe we have this. And then I'll sit there probably forever. So let's move on. You guys should have seen my reaction last week when we brought out the Omega. We were kind of goofing off here in the office, or I was. Everybody else was trying to work. I was the one goofing off. And somebody goes, "You're going to love this," which I'm assuming was Mimi, because that's her voice. you're going to love this. And she pulls out a pair of beauties. It was a bracelet model and a strap model. I don't know if we're going to have the strap model or not tomorrow. We're hoping so. We don't know. Of those Omegas. And I just went nuts. I just love Omega that much. And we've never aired Omega on this show ever. In the 4 years that this program has been running, we've never aired a single Omega. All right. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to get into this next item here, which happens to be a beautiful Bulova. Now, with this Bulova, you're looking at something, again, wildly different from everything else. I'm not sure what's going on with our graphics. Nobody's telling me, so I'm assuming is this going to be an ongoing thing? Okay. All right, guys, I apologize. We're working really, really hard right now to fix our issues online, so it's kind of distracting our control room here. So that's fixed, and we're just going to continue on. This Bulova is from the BVA series, which means you're going to be getting into an automatic timepiece. And what they choose to use are the ultra-reliable Citizen Miyota movements. This is going to be a 45 millimeter case, which is large for the BVA series. They tend to be 40 to 42 millimeter watches. This is a 45, and it does wear a little bit larger. So, oh yeah. What I want you to focus on is the fact that you've got something very special in the fact that you've got a larger variation of this watch. It's a little bit more of a presence on the wrist, and a lot of you have begged for that. You're like, oh, you guys show a lot of smaller watches. Because listen, the whole world does not wear 50 millimeter watches. That is a very small segment of the universe. A lot of brands are making bigger watches, but you know, your classic mainstays for men are between 40 and 44 millimeters. That's the way it is. And they made this look more like a 46 to 47. You've got that beautiful Citizen Miyota 21 jewel automatic movement inside, and that's going to give you the open heart complication through the front, through the dial side. And what's great about that is the fact that you get to see the heartbeat of your movement from the dial side without ever having to take the watch off. And listen, you got to realize that still, at this day, 85% of all the watches sold in the world are quartz watches. So I can guarantee you the majority of the people that you're going to come in contact with, let's say, just for argument's sake, a server at a restaurant, when you're pushing that bill back over or you're pushing that food back because they screwed it up for the third time in a row, they're going to look down on your wrist and go, what's going on there? When they get nice and close, they're going to see that little wheel oscillating back. Well, it looks like it's spinning, but it's actually oscillating back and forth. And they're going to go, what in the world is going on there? It's going to remind them maybe of their father or grandfather's watch. Because you got to realize, up until 1968, 69, quartz watches didn't even exist. So the only way that you got your hands on a watch was a mechanical or automatic up until that point. So yeah, grandfather, oh yeah, he wore a mechanical or automatic. And a lot of times you could see that movement. Now you get a chance to see that through the dial and maybe expose a whole new generation to the beauty of mechanical movements. That's what I've been doing for the past 10 years, trying to expose people to a lot of things that I enjoy. Sometimes a little bit overexposed. Sometimes I'm told to put it away. 264-989, there is your loom. That's what you'll be seeing in the middle of the night. Oh, yeah. Blasting you in the face every single night. Oh, I'm going to miss you guys so much. Bill tweets in with a picture of his Oris on his wrist. He says, I never would have bought this if it weren't for the BGW9 that you figured out was actually on this watch. Yeah, that was a fun night, wasn't it? I just got up in the middle of the show and charged up the watch and went to a dark area and went, oh, look, it glows blue. Yeah, I wouldn't expect that to happen ever with anyone else anywhere. Just that's a me thing. All right, the other variation of that Bulova is right here. It's all black. The other one had the rose and the brown. It was sexy. This is all blacked out. I like this one just a little bit more because it allows you to dress it up and dress it down. You can kind of do everything with it. There are no rules. It's kind of like how I live my life. No rules. Rules suck. Let's move on. Let's talk about the Legato Cirque. I own 2 of the Legato Cirques, so I could tell you for certain that it really is a fantastic watch and a very bold statement on the wrist. We're going to show you 3 variations of it. Raw air, raw air, raw air, hello, hello, Governor. So we're going to do the black and red, black and blue, and we're going to do the rose and brown, which will be the dressiest of the 3. Obviously, we're going to start, though, with the red. Oh, the red. That's my coffee cup right back there. See that? That's right. Professional camera angles we got going on. I don't usually keep my coffee on that side. I usually keep it on the other side, so it's never an issue. Yeah, you know what? I am spitting in the wind for the next 6 hours. It's my defiance on the way out the door. I have moved everything that I can move around the studio. Oh, my goodness. Check this out. Boom. Boom. Ah, there we go. It took an extra boom, but we boomed it. There it is. Oh, beautiful. Deep, deep textures in the dial. And that's what really attracted me personally to the Legato series was the dial work. Incredible textures, multiple textures. And I like Roman numerals. I'm a Roman numeral fan. It's just the way it is. Then you see the beautiful machining on the sides of the case, the complex manufacturing. You have the case back, the case middle, top case, that's right, top case, and then the bezel, then the 4 screws holding the bezel into the top case, all that machining, the machining between the lugs, which perfectly matches with the molded lines in the silicone strap. Now, 2 years ago, we decided to take the Legato sporty and create these kind of Neptune colors, the blues and the yellows and the reds and the greens. Yeah. I'm going to put the blue in on the wrist if that's okay. That was El Diablo, black and red. Now we're going to go for the Bruiser, black and blue. Should I tell you, of the choices here, I think might be a better daily choice. If you wear blue jeans at all. Like right now, I'm wearing blue jeans and a black shirt. So this would look really good with what I'm wearing, right? Boom. I feel like a fashion model sitting out here. Da-da-da. Jason queries via @WildTV chat on Twitter. He says, how many watches are in your collection? I actually haven't counted lately, Jason. The most I was ever up to was about 370. And then I've had 2 or 3 really big sell-offs because it got to the point, and I realized this the last time I moved. When I moved down here 4 years ago, I was, everything was unloaded, everything was done, and my wife was going through a bin that we had relegated to the garage. We thought it was a bunch of my empty watch boxes because I had 3 bins full of those. And it turned out I had about 12 watches that were still boxed up, wrapped up in plastic. 2 of them were quartz movements with dead batteries. That means I had them for at least 3 years and didn't realize it. When I got to that point where I didn't realize I owned watches, I thought it was too much. So I got rid of a whole bunch. I didn't rotate through my watches as often. I found, segments of favorites. So I'd have 10 or 20 that were my favorites that I'd wear more often than the rest. And the rest just got ignored. I think I'm somewhere around 150 or so right now. And I don't really see myself going much lower than that. Because I still like to have my variety. Different moods. We're dressed a different way. There's all kinds of different reasons. Maybe some days I feel a bit more high fashion. I don't know. Maybe one day I'm going to wear something like this, the rose and brown Legato Cirque, which is certainly gorgeous and sexy. I like that brown dial against the rose gold plating. It's very elegant. Yeah. I see Jen and Jerry are tweeting in. Good to see you guys. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your friendship over the years. And that, of course, will continue as we've gotten to know each other. All right, let's move on now to 2 watches that you're going to think are the same watch but aren't. Are you ready? Let's go. The Delta Alarm GMT. Now, here's what I mean about you thinking these are going to be the same watch, but they're not. Are you ready? Da, da, da. Black and rose, rose and black. What? This one has a black ionic plated case with the rose bezel, black dial. This has the rose plated case, rose bezel, black dial. So your only difference is the plating of the case. Look, they're making out on the air. As far as we could take it, this is a family show. All right, we're going to start with the black case. They were getting a little too excited over there. I had to break them up. Yeah. What you're getting into is what I think a wonderful progression for us. Now, here's the, forget it. I'm just going to stop myself right now. Here's what we're going to be doing. We're changing things up a little bit around here. And I've made the announcement before. I've told you guys all about it. But in January of 2016, we're going to be making the shift over to all Swiss-made timepieces. That means by nature, this exact watch is only going to be around for this year, period. This is not, actually only one model is going to go from the original production over to the Swiss-made production. That's going to be the Abyssos. So this watch will only live until this one production run is sold out, and that's it. And come January 1, sold out or not, you're never going to see them again. So keep that in mind. January 1, 2016, Swiss Legend goes all Swiss-made. And that is a big deal. With these, you're getting our standard classic Swiss-made movements. And we partner with a lot of different factories all around the world to keep the cost down and keep the quality high. What you've got with this watch is a secondary time zone and an alarm, all set into a 46 millimeter case. David, I apologize. I'm just the host. There's nothing I can do for you. You would need to call customer service on Monday during normal business hours. But you should have gotten a tracking number in your email when it shipped, and you'd be able to track it from there. But if you live in California, that's usually 5 business days. So what is today? Today is the 14th. Counting out the weekends, you'll probably get it Monday if I were to guess on that. But if not, I would just call customer service on Monday. All right, now I've put the rose and black on my wrist. Super Luminova, as you've seen, on all the hour markers and hands. Still sitting on my wrist waiting to show you. There it is. This is the rose. Should I be slowing down, guys? Is there a problem with our graphics machine? Okay, I'll slow down. Don't want to make anybody pull their hair out on my last weekend here. Well, that really wouldn't make it any different than any other weekend, though, would it? No. See, Albert was smart, though. He shaved his head. You guys think I'm lying. I came in tonight. The boy shaved his head. Nobody even knows why. He just has like this really, really white head. 6 payments of $1,666. Mike wants to know about the strap length on this. Oh, yeah, you're good. I'm a 7.5-inch wrist. There's another 1.25 inches here to go. So, yeah, your 8.5-inch wrist will fit just fine in there, Mike. No worries whatsoever. I think it's a classy look. It's not over-designed. It's not overdone. It's got every feature that you need. Your seconds are in the sub-dial. Your red hand is the alarm. Black hand is the GMT. Big calendar down at the 6 o'clock position. So cool, so easy to use. But now, oh baby, oh, it's all about the Expedition. I've owned an original Expedition for a while, and I've always liked it. Listen, it's never one of those watches where you go, oh my God, I can't believe I've got this watch. It's like so amazing. But it was just a really good watch to wear every day. I can knock it around, bang it around. It was great. It was a good size, 46 millimeters, but it was only 12 millimeters thick, so it was very slim on the wrist. Yet it's a full 200 meters water resistant. Great, amazing application of super luminova, making it very, very bright at night. So it really had everything I wanted. But it came on a silicone strap. As you guys know, we got kind of stuck on silicone straps for a few years there, didn't we, at Swiss Legend? Oh, yeah. Now we are opening ourselves up to leather straps, other types of straps, and steel bracelets. Now we have redesigned the Expedition to carry off a custom-made, tapered, solid end link stainless steel bracelet, and then we changed the finish of the entire watch to a matte finish all the way. It's actually a finish that's applied onto the steel that gives you a matte look. I would liken it to Cerakote or Guncoat or whatever, one of those brand names that you want to think of where they've done a ceramic-style coating. It's actually very, very tough stuff. It's not going to scratch off very easily, and it gives you this non-reflective matte finish. It looks really, really good. Goes great with the matte black dial. Here's the lume for you. Boom. And I tell you, the bracelet changed the attitude of this watch. Let me tell you what. I like how it feels. I like how it looks. Rick tweets in and says he picked up the Eleni Fortitudo. Good choice. I have a Fortitudo. I love it. Great watch. There it is. Look at that. Look at it on the wrist. Nice, generous bracelet on there as well. And remember, if you're buying one of our brands, which is Eleni, Lucien Piccard, Swiss Legend, A-Line, Red Line, Cabochon, Ben & Sons, Magico, any of those brands, if you get a bracelet and the bracelet's too short for some reason, which it shouldn't be, we always make very long bracelets, in our brands, we'll give you additional links for free. 2 or 3 links for free. All you do is pay the $5 or $6 in shipping, and that's it. So never, ever, ever worry about that. You'll always be covered all the way around. Around, all the way around. I think now it's time to kind of switch gears a little bit and get into another Lucien Piccard. Haha, Walter, thank you. This is Godspeed, homie. Yeah, with the homie thing, I was doing that for a while on the show. That was pretty funny. I appreciate that. Are you kidding me? We had all these graphic problems because you guys want to make up a pretty little graphic for my farewell show. I appreciate that. Thank you. Now I feel special. Now I feel bad for being so angry at you. I know I'm special because my mommy said so. And 3 doctors. I even had a prescription. It's called my special prescription. All right, 185086, getting into the Montoviso. In the Silvertone dial, Silvertone case. Now, what makes this different and why I like this version over all the rest is that you get the beautiful blue strap, and each of the hour markers and hands are outlined in that electrifying ionic blue plating. So when the light hits the dial just right, the light dances off of them and shows that beautiful iridescent blue. Oh, yeah. What you're going to love about this watch is the classic design. It is elegant and beautiful. And it looks like something, I don't know, right out of the 1950s, right? Except back in the 1950s, you'd be looking at about you'd be looking at about a 35 millimeter watch for men. This is a 48. Let me just show you how big a 48 millimeter watch really looks. Just to give you some perspective. Oh, we're focused on the dial. I'll wait. You ready? We're gonna show the perspective of the size of the watch. Okay. All right then. 185086. We are having a heck of a time in that control room tonight. I don't know what's going on in there. I'm hoping that they hired a dancer for me or something for the end of the weekend, and they're just distracted by the dancer in the control room. Either that, or that's just somebody we're hiring in. Maybe that's going to be the next host. I don't know. 48. Albert is not dancing. No. He did a lap dance for me the other day, and I'm still trying to recuperate. 48 millimeter case, genuine leather strap. It's a much bigger watch than the classic that you might be used to if this were a 42, 43, 45 millimeter case. Now, I'm putting this one on the wrist because this is my pick of the two. The other one we're just going to mention, I think. Pretty sure. Here we go. Oh, yeah. I did. Yeah, 'cause I was really excited when I got here. It was Mimi's skirt. 185086, and there it is on the wrist. It is big and it's bold, but here's the thing: it's not, in my opinion anyway, it's not dramatically oversized. Now, if you've got like a 6-inch wrist, it's going to look a little big, a little silly on you. I would suggest to stay away from it. 7-inch wrist and above, I think you're going to be fine with this. I think it's going to look fantastic. $54.99 is a brand new price on this. We've never done this, as far as I know, for $55. I think this is the first time. And look what it brings your monthly payments to. Now, maybe you were tuning in this weekend thinking, I'm not going to buy a watch. I don't need any more watches. I have enough watches. Or my wife says I do. But when you see a $9 payment, how can you say no? You've got a Sapphitech crystal on there. It means you've got a crystal that's as scratch resistant as sapphire. And we spend a lot of time talking to you about Sapphitech and demonstrating Sapphitech. And I will again later on when I get the opportunity. But that makes it such a killer deal. A sweet deal. Now here's another very dressy variation. And I'm going to tell you right now, if somebody would have told me, just told me to visualize in my head, we're going to make a watch, rose gold plated, with a gray dial, I would have gone, I would have dry heaved right there, just on the thought. I could not have imagined that would have looked good. And this is one of those times where seeing is believing. Rose and gray, you wouldn't think it'd be enough of a contrast, that the gray would kind of be washed out. It actually works, and it works well. I would honestly rather see it on brown leather. That's me, but you can certainly make that switch very easily yourself. But the black is a classic look against gray. But I think it looks fantastic, and it looks different. When you go through your watch collection, at some point, you begin to pick up on all the redundancies. You're like, oh man, I've got 20 divers with blue dials and 8 divers with orange dials and 4 pilot-style chronographs in silver tone and black. And you're like, I've got so much repetition. I need to eliminate some of those, pick out my favorites, get rid of the rest, and everything I buy from here on in should be a little bit different. Maybe it's different colors. Maybe it's different materials. Maybe stop buying steel and buy some ceramic for a while, or buy some tungsten or some titanium. Maybe I'll stop buying quartz chronographs for a while and buy automatic GMTs, or, change things up. And when you see something like that rose and gray, I guarantee there's no redundancy in your collection on that color combo. Oh, no. No. And here we have another classic look in the yellow gold-plated variation with the blue dial. Quick mention to you on the 90th anniversary limited edition chronograph. That's available too. That's a 46, 47 millimeter. It's a bigger watch. You've got a 2-eye vintage style chronograph movement inside. It's a payment of $12.50. Oh. And that's it. That's all she wrote for Lucien Piccard for this hour. We're going to make a hard left and go straight into Luminox. I had my worries when it was brought up to me a little under 2 years ago that we're going to start bringing in some Luminox. I'm like, you know what? I don't know how people are going to react to Luminox for a few reasons. Number one, they're all military designs. Well, if you've got a huge audience, you have to worry about satisfying the majority of them, right? You can't just go, well, I know that 8% of our audience are military, so they're going to love it. Well, 8% don't pay the bills, right? So you got to worry, will the styling work for them? Then the other worry was the expense. There's Swiss-made watches that are known to be expensive for what they are. What I didn't know was that we were going to come out at pretty much dealer's cost on everything. And they have become one of the top 10 selling brands that we have ever put on television. Now here's a better example. This is an $800 verifiable retail. $400 is dealer's cost. $355 is your price tonight. So we're below dealer's cost by 45 bucks. That means the dealer would have to give you a free watch and then give you $45 on top of it to match this deal. Do you know any retailers that would do that? A show of hands? Okay, I didn't think so. Oh, my Uncle Joey's a jeweler. Oh, yeah? See if Uncle Joey's going to give you a free watch and $45. Uncle Joey don't like you all that much. He still remembers when you were 8 and puked up on his nice fancy new couch. That's right. Uncle Joey, not a big fan of yours. Now what you're getting here is one of the all-steel color mark Navy SEAL edition watches. And I mention that because a lot of the watches will be the carbon case on a rubber strap or carbon case, carbon bracelet. This is not. You have the carbon bezel, okay? Everything else is 316L steel done in black ionic plating. On the back, we did have to take a sticker off, so it left some residue, and I apologize for that. But on the back, you will see the Navy SEALs logo. Not only does it bear the Navy SEALs logo, and some Navy SEALs do choose to wear them, but the Navy SEALs were brought into the design process of the manufacturing of this series. You've got a 200-meter diver. You have a sapphire crystal with anti-reflective coatings. You have a black textured dial with 3 black, almost onyx black satin finished subdials. Black hands, black numerals. Well, Jim Marino, how am I going to tell the time if everything's all blacked out there, Chief? Let me tell you something there, Hoss. You got tritium tubes. T25 tritium there, boss. You know what that means? They are self-luminous. You do not charge up this watch. You don't stick it up under a lamp. You don't stick it up under your flashlight. You don't stick it up under anything. It will always be glowing 24/7, 365. Now here's the look. These are a 45 millimeter case. They tend to wear a little bit larger. Actually, you know what? I just want to double check because they do have 2 sizes. Yeah, still the 45 millimeter. Just looks like it's a 46 to 47. Much larger on the wrist. We're selling it below dealer's cost. It does not get better than that, especially for Luminox because they're a price-protected brand. If Luminox catches an authorized retailer selling below what they allow them for, they just stop selling them to them. They pull their retailership. We don't have to worry about that. We can go as low as we want to go. And we did. And we did. Dan tweets in, he says, my wife is convinced that you leaving television will slow down my watch buying. I'm kind of thinking it might, just a little bit. But you know what? The deals that are on the way here, you can't resist them. I mean, even if we've got somebody out here that doesn't have a full grasp on the English language, that calls watch dials faces and straps bands, and who knows where they might scrape somebody up off the street. I'm kidding. But it really wouldn't matter at some point because the deals are so good and the watches are so awesome. Yeah. Gray Man says he picked up on the Luminox a couple weeks ago. Says he loves it. It's a stellar look. I agree. John S., I'm thinking of getting, I can't really mention that on the air, but yes, I'm still a fan. I'm still carrying mine right now in my pocket. I'm a huge fan. I bought the newer generation, And it's a little bit better. So, yeah, they just keep making them better. So definitely get one. Trust me, you're going to love it. All right, let's talk about Maurice Lacroix. And before I get into the watch, I want to again reference, because my favorite stalker likes to watch all the shows. I had mentioned a couple weeks ago that we do get our Maurice Lacroix directly from Maurice Lacroix. For some reason, he wanted to put words on my mouth and say that I said that we were an authorized retailer. We are not. I want to be very clear because I don't want anybody to feel that we're pulling anything over your eyes. We do get them direct from Maurice Lacroix because we're able to help them with whatever abundance they have in their inventory. We are not an authorized dealer. We're probably not going to have them 5 years from now. We're probably not going to have this exact one again after it sells out. We're buying overstock. We are buying what's called NOS, new old stock. It relieves that manufacturer of their inventory so they can afford to bring out their new models, and affords us the opportunity to give you outstanding low prices. And this is, by the way, still a current model in their collection that you can find in stores. But, before somebody goes off half-cocked, writing off letters, oh, the guy on TV, that guy on TV there, he said you were an authorized retailer. No, I never said that. But we do get them direct, and that's why, regardless, listen, you don't know where we get them until I said that. We could have found them in a dumpster behind the building for all you know. But it doesn't matter. You know why? Because we give you a guarantee of authenticity on every single item that we sell. So if for some reason you get a watch and you're like, I don't know about that, you got 30 days to get your money back, 100%, and we even pay the return shipping. So again, don't listen to brainless people on the internet that are starving. And I do mean truly starving for attention, because it's just not worth it. All right, now let's get into this. What you're getting into is the Pontos XL. It's the larger size of the Pontos series that happens to feature one of the Valgrange series of movements. Fully decorated, beautified, absolutely gorgeous. So you've got rhodium plating, mirror polishing, perlage decoration, which in some industries is just simply called jeweling. And then you have Côte de Genève, which is the Geneva stripe pattern on the rotor. It is a massive movement. And these movements were made, again, they're made by Etta and Valjoux, which are the same company now. They're made by them to satisfy the needs for manufacturers that create larger cased watches. So instead of having subdials that are super close together and a small date, you've got everything a little bit spaced out, a little bit larger, that are better for, I'm going to self-focus, I guess, that are better suited for larger cases. There we go. Look how beautiful that is. One of the things that I love is the ingenuity of Maurice Lacroix. You look at their pushers here. You notice how the whole pusher did not go in? It's working on a pivot point located by the crown. And they do this so if you lay your watch down, you're not going to bump one of your pushers and either start or stop your chronograph when you don't want to. Mm-hmm. Bill asked a question. Yes, absolutely, that will continue. And he says, how water resistant is the Seamaster? The Seamaster Aquaterra I showed you earlier, I believe was 150 meters water resistant. I'll double check it. It should be like 300, but being an Aquaterra, I don't know. Can I see that, my private pick that's laying on the thing right there? Most of them are 300 meters, so I'm going to double check here. Yep, 150 meters on that Omega. There for you, Bill. All right, so I'll show you again the beautified movement. The beautiful, genuine alligator strap. The incredible finish work on their stainless steel cases. And the C3 Super Luminova. No, I didn't hear a word you said. What'd you say? Let's now take a look at it on the wrist. You get an idea just how big this larger size really is at 46 millimeters. And yeah, it does play a lot bigger than that. And that's the thing about almost all the Maurice Lacroix, especially in the Pontos series, they always look a little bigger than their measured size, and this one certainly does play to be a little bit larger. 6 payments. Here's the big deal, guys. You pay $246. We ship to you this beautiful, exceptionally made Maurice Lacroix. The thing I love the most about Maurice Lacroix is this. They're a relatively young brand. They really began in the 1960s. And they've already escalated to the point where, I mean, there are brands that have been around for over 100 years that are not at the level these guys are at. They are now watch manufacturers, so they can make their own everything. Their hands, their dials, their crowns, their straps, even their own in-house automatic movements in many of their watches. So they've gotten to that level very, very quickly. And I've yet to find a Maurice Lacroix that I just didn't like. I love almost every one that I've ever come across. So if you're looking for something that's exciting, that in my opinion can absolutely be an heirloom quality timepiece, get into a Maurice Lacroix, do it for these crazy prices. A $5,500 watch for $1,500? Yep, there you go. Curtis, thank you so very much as well. I appreciate that. I'm glad that you're enjoying your Maurice Lacroix. All right. We're going to try something a little bit different for Rotary, and I was actually shocked the first time I came across this watch. You're looking at a 48 millimeter case for one. Rotary typically does not go very large with their watches. Listen, they're a brand out of the UK, and you go to the UK. I mean, they're a Swiss-owned brand, by the way. I want to be very clear about that, but their offices, like where Robert comes from, is in the UK. They're the #1 selling brand of watches in units in the UK. Over there, guys are wearing 38, 40, 42 millimeter watches. To see a 48 millimeter to come out of Rotary is surprising. Yeah. This is bigger. It is thicker. It is beefier than almost every Rotary I've ever seen. Another thing that I love, solid end link bracelet on here. Very thick, solid links. Swiss-made. Let me repeat that because you're looking at your screen going, it's $135. Not only do you see a Swiss-made Ronda movement in here, but you are buying into a Swiss-made watch right there on the dial. Mind-blowing for this small amount of money. 6 payments. $22.50. I'm going to put this bad boy on the wrist and give you an eye full of candy. A little wrist candy. There's your loom. And here's the money shot. Oh, there it is. Bigger and beefier than anybody could have ever expected. And I love the classic design of this. You know, most every brand out there has taken their shot at this style of diver, that traditional classic diver. And I like the fact that Rotary did so by creating something a little bit different. They didn't just go for a dead-on replication of somebody else's design. They took the basic theme and they modified it a little bit. The oversized 12, the shape of the hour markers, the shape of the hands, the extra thick bezel, the extra wide bezel. Everything about that was just done a little bit differently, but it's very clear that it's a classic diver. 263-494. Rick is loving his Fortitudo. He's got one on his wrist right now as he's watching the show. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. I love you guys. I do. You're all so just gosh darn awesome. Just awesome all over the place. Say what? Oh no, I'm scared. These are horrifying. I'm not going to be able to see. Okay, I'll try. 236757. How about something wildly different? Wow. Let's see how that works out. Let's put this right straight onto the wrist. Wow. It's like a whole new world. So you guys aren't getting the benefit of what's going on behind the scenes here. Oh, wow. No, let's just get to that wrist shot. Let's just show how awesome it is. This is also Swiss-made, but it's automatic. And from what I recall, it's only $199. 6 payments of $33.33. Oh, man. Here we go. We are going to begin our middle hour here together, and I couldn't possibly be more excited for the opportunities that are presenting themselves by the moment. By the moment. My name is Jim, in case you guys don't know. I want to thank all of you so much for being here this weekend. This is my farewell show. Again, because no matter how many times I say it, I still get the questions. After that, I am not going to another network. I am retiring from television. Tonight and tomorrow night are my final shows, well, pretty much ever. So thank you guys so much for following me through these past 10 and a half years. It has been an amazing ride. It's been so much fun. And I do appreciate the friendships that we have made over that time. If you want to keep up with me and where I'm going, you can certainly do so via my Facebook page. I would appreciate that. But right now, what you can do during the show live, I will tweet with you. That's right, via @WildTVChat on Twitter. I'm actually a little bit dizzy, just to be honest with you. We're going to go on into the second hour preview. Woo! Man. That was fun. David asked what the water resistance was on the Rotary. On the Rotary, they just call it waterproof, in quotations. Waterproof, that's it. What they say is it can handle anything that the human body can without dying. That's about the best way I can put it to you. So dive as deep as you want, you're not going to hurt it. Now let's talk about this hour. The preview starts up here with this Accutron 2. It's another moon view. This one, however, oh baby, it's an automatic. Now apparently, Megan is called in from wherever she is at and requested that this be her hot pick for the night. Megan is not here, by the way, guys. I don't want to get you all excited. Just a graphics error. But it certainly would be worthy of a Megan's pick, I tell you what. Wait till you see that bracelet live and in person. They charge $650 for this, which honestly is still a pretty darn good deal, but you're getting it for only $389.99 and 6 payments, $65. Oh. We got to do some Safatek dancing this hour, too. Brought one of my favorite knives to do a little bit of Safatek dancing with, and I haven't had a chance to do it yet. All right, this is the actual hour that this will be aired in or was scheduled to air in. This is my private pick of the night, my personal favorite brand of watches in the world. I tell you right now, if I had known we were going to get this, I probably would have bought this for myself. And the crew will tell you, I've been doing nothing but drooling over this watch all week long. I can't stop. It's just that darn nice. It's a Seamaster, Aquaterra, GMT, chronograph, automatic with the coaxial movement. It is mind-blowing. It is a $9,250 watch for $5,000. Now, if you go back 10 years, a typical automatic chronograph from Omega would have cost you around $4,000 to $5,000. Yeah, well, now they're $10,000. That's just the way it is. Omegas are moving up in the world, and you get, basically, it's like you're getting a 10-year-old price. 6 payments of $833.33. Thank you so much, David, for that tweet. I really appreciate that. Ebel, the Ondi. And this is one I'm not familiar with at all. I've never seen this watch in my entire life. I'm used to the more, traditional Ebels or here, Ebel Ondi. This is a mother of pearl dial. Can I see this very quickly for a second? Because I'm really wondering if this is a lady's watch. Yeah, that's why I'm not familiar with this. This is a lady's watch. You've got a very elegant mother of pearl dial in there. Solid 18-karat gold bezel. Solid gold bezel. It's a $5,400 watch for $1,300. And that gold, by the way, is rose gold, to be very clear. So don't spend $5,500, spend $1,300 or a $216 payment. Oh yeah. Oh, it's like that. Bulova chronograph, not a precisionist. I repeat, not a precisionist. This is a $300 Bulova. Your price is $180 here tonight with 6 payments of $29.90. 251-852. It's a classic design, cushion-shaped case, fully functioning chronograph. I like the crosshair sub-dial at the 6 o'clock position done in gray. You like that? I like that. I'm all about that. 6 payments, $29.90, less than $1 a day, interest-free. Yeah. You guys know I'm a huge lover of all things precisionist, particularly these divers. This is a Bulova precisionist, meaning it will have the world's most accurate movement, accurate within 10 seconds per year. And then you've got the chronograph complication built in that will run down to a precise accuracy of 1/1000th of a second. And wait till you see how that watch operates. We're going to have a lot of fun with that a little bit later on. Right now, we're going to go back to my private pick. Oh, yes. In the 45mm Seamaster Aquaterra automatic GMT and chronograph. Now, again, the watch will wear larger. You will swear on whatever things that you swear on that this is a 47. It is also very thick and quite hefty. Much like your ex-wife. I'm kidding. I kid. There are like 4 guys that just fell off their couches laughing right now. All right. Now, what we're getting into here is what I still believe is one of the most useful watches in the world. Those of you that have known me for years, maybe you've asked me on Instagram or you've asked me on Facebook. By the way, don't follow me on Instagram if you're interested in watches. I don't really do anything watch-related on my Instagram. Follow me on Facebook for that. And people have said, what's your number one, hands-down favorite everyday wear watch? And it's always been the Omega Seamaster Pro, which is the original look of the Seamaster. Well, I shouldn't say it because the Seamaster, I've owned Seamasters from the 1950s. The James Bond look is the one I always talk about because it's a great size. It's just perfect in every way. You can wear it dressed up, dressed down, do whatever you want. This newer variation here, what you're getting into is an offshoot from the Seamaster line called the Aquaterra. Now, the Aquaterras, when they first came out, were very classic. They reminded you a lot of the Rolex day dates. Very, very, very similar to that look. Like the date just, I should say. So very clean, very conservative, not sporty at all. And then they made their way into bringing the Aquaterra a bit sportier. And I really like the idea here. So you've got a bigger look. You've got a chronograph. You've got a secondary time zone with your GMT hand and omnidirectional bezel. All powered by this unbelievably beautiful 3803 caliber automatic COSC certified movement, 37 jewel, fully decorated. And I apologize, it still has smears and everything on the case back. I didn't realize that before I turned it around. But it's a beautiful, fully decorated movement with the George Daniels coaxial escapement. And what that means to you is reduced friction in the escapement with more contact, more continuous contact, that allows the watch to run more accurately and also with less effort. So instead of having a traditional 3 to 5 year service interval, they immediately bumped up, even the very first caliber 2500, bumped it up to a 10-year service interval. That's a big deal because servicing of good quality movements can cost you a lot of money. To only have to do it every 10 years saves you a lot of money. There is your BGW9 Super Luminova. It is 200 micron application, by the way, so you're getting the strongest of all compounds of superluminova. Thank you, John, for the tweet. He says, wish we could all reach out and congratulate you with a shake in a gloved hand. Thank you, John. I appreciate that. Yeah, that was a funny reference from many years ago, in a gloved hand. This is an amazing size. Some people may still find it to be a little bit too big. Again, it's a 45, but it wears more like a 47. It's also quite hefty. Now, you'll notice the bracelet, I only would have to take one link out to fit me. I have a 7.5-inch wrist. So it is a tragically short bracelet. If you have over a 7.5-inch wrist, you will have to buy additional links from Omega. We can't help you with that. That's directly from Omega. But you know you'll be buying a watch that you can possibly own the rest of your life. It will carry on into the next generation, and the next generation, and the next generation. It is that level of quality. You're looking at 150 meters of water resistance. I should say it right there on the subdial. There it is, at the 9 o'clock position. We've got an amazing watch here, guys, and I hope everybody's taking advantage, because you're not going to see this price again. You may never see this watch again. It just popped up out of nowhere for this show. It's $9,250. You get it for $5,000. You're buying into a heritage of a brand that is over 150 years old. You're buying into a series of watches that came out, 1945 was the first Seamaster. So do what you got to do, but own one of these. I promise you, you're going to love it. And Mike, right? Mike, you're right. All Omegas are short. Rolex is another one. You buy like a Rolex Submariner, you put it on, it fits me out of the box without taking a single link out. Maybe that's their way of making a little bit of extra money, selling you a few extra links. I don't know. Or they're just reducing waste because they know so many people are taking so many links out. I'm sure there was a study group somewhere that determined how long the bracelet should be. I don't know. Let's talk now about an Accutron 2. Oh. Or not. What's the matter? Yeah, everything's fine. It's got a navy blue dial against the all rose gold plated stainless steel. For me, it's really all about the bracelet on this one. Yeah, you've got that cool kind of flying saucer look, which was the design aspect behind this watch with the bubble back and the bubble crystal. But that bracelet is gorgeous. It's almost like snakeskin. And notice how tightly put together that is. You don't see any gaps. You don't see my finger, right? In this whole area here. You don't even see my finger back there. Yet, it doesn't kink or bind. It's not kinky. Or bindy. Not really sure what that means. Almost looks quilted. Like my favorite kind of toilet paper. Quilted. If you don't have quilted, I'm not using the bathroom in your home. I guess it's not really like a privilege. Like, oh no, we better go get new toilet paper, else Jim won't use our bathroom. I'll just use one of your hand towels. So, just get the quilted kind. With the monograms, yes. Just go ahead and put my initials on there. Go ahead. Look at the beauty of that crystal. Isn't that gorgeous? Guys, you're looking at a $650 watch in an automatic. Look how smoothly sweeping that automatic is. Oh, yeah. For $389.99. Star Runner, I appreciate that. He says, Jim, man, you don't have to leave, bro. But you got me to get Swiss Legend diamonds and Neptune diamonds. It was you hyping it up all the time. Yeah, well, I'm glad I got you into them. And as we all know, Star Runner is the king of all diamonds. That is a man that owns a lot of diamond Swiss Legends. And we don't even do diamond Swiss Legends anymore for men. And I keep telling him to do them again. I don't know what's going to happen. I hope they do, because they're missing out. Oh, boy. Look at this. Isn't that gorgeous? And it's pretty slim for the style of watch that it is as well. For having that bubble top and that bubble back, still very low profile on the wrist. You could easily wear this dressed up. $389.99. 6 payments of $65. Let's move on. Let's see what else we got going on. Quick mention to you on a pretty dressy Bulova here, all silver tone. That's a great question. John tweets in. He says, when ordering a strap or bracelet for any watch, how can I be sure it will be long enough to fit an 8.5-inch wrist? You mean just by buying the part, the strap, or you mean a strap watch or bracelet watch? As far as the parts go, they should tell you the length when you're buying them. If it's like a custom strap store. But, yeah, generally they're only going to tell you the width. It's hit or miss, to be honest with you. Really hit or miss. Now, again, quick mention to you on this all-silver tone Bulova. Beautiful, dressy chronograph for $235. 6 payments of $39.16. Great multi-link bracelet on there. Very elegant, but a classic design that you can wear dressed up or dressed down. But we're going to fast forward to something very, very cool. Yeah, you know you like it. That's okay, I got it. I'll show you guys right now. You ready? Because my crew is sitting there going, I don't know how to set this darn watch. It is confusing, and when you first get it, you're going to want to throw it through a wall too. Please read your instruction manual. We don't get those over on this side of the building. All you're going to do is you're going to pull the crown, and you're going to turn it slightly in the direction you want the minute hand to go in. Come on. Wait, hold on. Gosh darn it, and you just hold it, because I was just doing it. And you hold it there, and it will go forward or backward for you. Hold on one second. I keep passing it because I'm holding it very oddly. Come on. Of course it's not going to work when I'm doing it here. Watch the hands. Watch the hands as they do nothing. My God. Are you kidding me? You're just not going to work for me at all, you little. Nope. We're gonna keep doing it till it, because I just. Yeah, I know. Because if you bump it too far, it goes past the click, and it doesn't know what you want to do. So you have to get it right to the point where, gosh darn it. Come on. This is terrible television, by the way. You know what? I'm just not going to do it. Read your instruction manual, but all you're going to do is you're going to bump the crown in one direction. The minute hand's going to go, and it's going to set the time. And you just let go when you get to the time that you want it to display. And for some reason, well, I also don't have it in time mode for one. It would help if I did, so bingo. It's a lot easier when it's set to time mode instead of alarm mode. Yep. Now, it is a complex watch. You have a lot going on. You have the day of the week. This is for your leap year counter over here. I'm going to tell you why you need that leap year counter in a moment. You're going to have your date here. You're going to have your AM, PM, or 24-hour indication right there. Now, the reason why you want the leap year registered here is because you have a perpetual calendar. Perpetual calendar means you will no longer have to set this again once you set it. It knows the difference between months that have 30 and 31 days. Once you have set it properly, and again, set it properly according to the manual, you will never have to change the date until your next battery change. Now, being an Eco Drive, it's a battery backup. So you may never have to change the battery in your entire life if you're lucky. At most, you may have to change the battery once in your entire life. But if you never change the battery, that date will be accurate till the year 2100. It's just that awesome. This particular variation does give you carbon fiber around the outer edge of a textured dial. Super Luminova in BGW9 for your hour markers and hands. Notice again, nobody was able to set the time on that. These, yes, when you first go to pick it up, you're never going to figure it out. You do have to read the instruction manual. Now on the wrist, it's going to play pretty true to size in the 43 millimeters that it is. I like this look in the all black. It's a different look, I think, by doing all black, all blacked out. Especially, since I'm doing the black shirt tonight, we'll give you what we like to call the lifestyle shot, so you get a chance to see maybe how you would look to others as you're wearing this beautiful watch on your wrist. Oh yeah. I know, things are changing. Nobody knows. So far, I've not gotten one tweet to anybody that's caught on, so we might make it through all 3 hours. You never know. That was 1, 2, 3, 4. That was the 5th time. All right, let's move on. Now, if you were worried that I was going to leave the show without airing another Neptune, don't worry. It'll be all white. We're bringing out the most funky, fresh Neptune there is. The all-white DJ edition. I love the all-white. Actually, no, it wasn't my first. I'll take that back. My second all-white watch was the all-white Neptune. It is, by the way, my favorite all-white watch. You know what? I haven't busted out my all-white Neptune in a while. I need to do that again. Yeah. Just run around with a white shirt, my all-white Neptune. Pow! Pow! And that's what you got to do when you're referencing somebody. When they're like, hey, yo, what's up, man? Pow! And don't say anything else. And just walk away. They're going to go, that guy, there he goes. He is something special, that guy right there. Now, all kidding aside, we sold these when they first came out for $150, and it was a great deal. People bought dozens of them. We talked to people that had more than 50 different varying Neptunes. We've dropped the prices over the years as we've been able to. We are now at the lowest prices ever. At $55, you'll get a Swiss-made ISA 2331 movement sitting in a 52 millimeter case, unidirectional rotating bezel, screw-down crown, super luminova, the works, everything, for a $9.17 payment. Now, this is the diver's dial, so you just get the shapes for the hour markers. Todd says, your white Neptune will be a big hit in Dallas. You know, yeah, you made a good point there. I might get shot wearing an all-white Neptune in Dallas. I don't know. We'll have to find out. Look at this boy. He's from New York City. Now let's try out the Bruiser, black and blue. Still to this day, one of the most popular color themes ever launched in the Neptune series. We think it's because a lot of people wear blue jeans and black shirts. That's what we think. 107106. To this day, one of the most comfortable watches you'll ever own in an oversized watch. Listen, 52 millimeters and 19 millimeters in thickness, that ain't no joke. That's big. All right? But it's wonderfully curved to wrap around the wrist without riding the bone. There's nothing worse than getting an oddly shaped watch where the steel lugs sit on one side of the wrist bone and they kind of... Let me show you what I mean. Go back to the shot if we can. We've all had that one watch that as much as we loved it, we never could wear it because it wanted to just shift either, this way or that way, and you're always having to do this and recenter it on your wrist, and I just wanted to because it's just riding the wrist bone, and it's uncomfortable, and it sucks. I've got one watch still in my collection right now that does that. And I'm just going to sell it. I'm just going to get rid of it. I love the watch, and I always reach for it and wear it, but I'm inconvenienced all the time by how I have to wear it. And that's no fun. You should never be inconvenienced. All right, Ibel Andi. Now, again, this is a lady's watch with a beautiful, genuine mother-of-pearl dial. It just disappeared. I know we have it. Oh. Mother-of-pearl dial. The bezel is solid 18-karat rose gold. Solid 18-karat rose gold. You don't get better than that. Now, let's think about this. If you go into the store with your wife or your girlfriend, or maybe one day it's your wife, the next day it's your girlfriend, whatever. I'm not going to judge you. I might pat you on the back. No. Be faithful, folks. Be faithful out there. That's all you can really rely on these days. Just be faithful. When you show up in that watch store, that jewelry store, and she tries this on and falls in love with it, as I would expect that she would, because it is gorgeous, you're going to be tap dancing to the tune of $5,400. Now, I don't know about you, but there are a lot of people out there that will never, ever be able to afford to spend $5,400 on a wristwatch. That could be the cost of your kid's first car. You got to buy. What I'm going through right now, craziest thing. We're moving. Obviously, at the end of the month, we're moving to Dallas, Texas. And the house that we found, that we fell in love with, we put the contract on. I didn't realize right away, but I'm like, there's no refrigerator and no washer and dryer. There's a good $5,000-$6,000 I have to spend that I really wasn't planning on spending. Things happen. Things cut into your watch budget. You may love your wife standing next to you, but you're going to go, honey, I can't spend $5,400. But you know what she says? She says, you know what? I am a master negotiator. I don't know why I said negotiator instead of negotiator. I am a master negotiator, and I'm going to talk this guy down. And she works her magic. And she gets him down from $5,400 to dealer's cost. Now, that's like, $2,800, $2,700. It's a lot of money. All right? Even if it does have handset diamonds in the crown. Still a lot of money. Yeah, you didn't notice those diamonds before, did you? Look how beautiful that is. How about this? We'll go less than half of dealer's cost and do it for $1,300. And we'll give you 6 payments of $216.66 because we love you. Mm-hmm. Todd says if you really got it going on, you're going to take your wife and your girlfriend at the same time. Todd apparently is hosting a lot of key parties in his free time. April's sitting right next to him, just elbowing him. What are you talking about? The whole world's going to think we're crazy. Now, it's time, finally, I get to share the gooch with you. 262-393. Gucci, or the gooch, as the kids like to say. Very, 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 do the kids still say that? I'm not entirely certain. Very high fashion. Listen, for most normal, everyday men, we're not in touch with Gucci and Prada and Versace and all that stuff. We realize what they are. We know that they're very high-end names that directly correlate to really expensive prices. But most men aren't dressing in that fashion, or at least not on a regular basis. So they're thinking to themselves, well, I see a Gucci watch. I don't know. It's a little bit, too fancy for me. I don't need anything like that. It's just a brand name. I don't care about that. How about this? How about forget the name of the watch on the dial for a moment. And just look at the fact that, number one, you're looking at a Swiss-made watch. Number two, you have a beautiful texture done into this pipe hand style dial. You also notice that the satin, very soft satin, chapter ring actually forms the G for the Gucci logo. And then they have their three-color stripe logo right there. Now, I've seen a lot of Gucci in my time. This might be one of the cleanest Gucci's I've seen. Sleek, low profile, not overly designed. Some of the Gucci's have had a lot going on. Not such a clean design, more about, let me show you what I can do. This one, I think, is a bit more conservative. Wouldn't you agree? I think it's something that maybe somebody a little bit older, more refined, more accomplished in their life might want to have on their wrist. You're not hopping out of a Honda, you're hopping out of a Bentley. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. You're at that point in your life. And I'm not saying that there aren't young people out there that have, that may hop out of Bentleys. I don't know. I'm just saying, you get to a certain station in life, you get a little bit older, you tend to be, in most cases, less wild and flamboyant in the things that you choose to wear. With this, it's a lot more low-key. It's also very slim, but it's still Gucci. Now, you could go out and spend $1,000 on this if you wish. You certainly can. Or we could sell it to you for dealer's cost at $500. Swiss-made, sapphire crystal, 43mm case, ultra-low profile, one of the most beautifully constructed bracelets you will ever own. No lie. Forget everything else about this watch and focus on that. Beautifully well made. No kinking, no binding, very tight tolerances, dual deployant clasp on there, everything. 6 payments of $83.33. And the rest of the night shall remain Gucci-less. Oh yeah, can you wait? 262393 is your item number there. Please keep in mind that anything that you buy from us, you get a 30-day money-back guarantee no matter what. You get a 100% money-back guarantee, and we even pay the return shipping. So no matter what the reason is, you can always send it back. You always get your money back. Right now, we're going to talk about the top 10 selling items this hour, actually this evening so far, and what we like to call the top 10. We don't work well with cues. Starting with number 10, it's the Challenger. We love the Challenger around here because the construction quality is impressive. It's a 200-meter diver. It's in a 50mm case. You have paddle-style pushers to activate the chronograph. You have a Swiss-made ISA 8172 movement inside, Sapphitech crystal with a 10-year warranty against scratching, and a great amount of super luminova. We have dropped the price on these from $99 to $65. So if you do not hurry, these will be sold out. And again, I have to always remind you, always, I'm only here today and tomorrow, but I always have to remind you that come January 1, we're going all Swiss made for Swiss Legend. So this will never be seen again. Ever. Once they're gone, that's it. Or once January 1 comes around. Whichever comes first. Now we're going to go to number 9. The Gladiator. I have not aired a Gladiator in weeks. I've been focusing on the Fortitudos. This is the Gladiator 50mm case by Alini. Sapphitech crystal, Swiss-made ISA 8172, Day-Day quartz chronograph movement, 100 meters water resistant, multi-component construction to the bezel. Brand new price drop on this to $69.99 and 6 payments of $11.66, $190,924. Number 8. Well, slather me in butter and roll me down the hill. I did not expect to see this in the top 10. The 90th anniversary limited edition chronograph by Lucien Piccard. 212100 at $75. Oh yeah. 6 payments, $12.50. Is this airing tonight or tomorrow night? I am excited about this. These have been sold out for over a year. Tomorrow night we're going to air it, but it's in the top 10 for tonight. The black and all purple Commander. And when I say purple, I mean purple. Rich royal purple. Oh, it is such an amazing look. And you're thinking he's exaggerating. He's pulling the proverbial leg. No, I'm telling you, it is a really awesome color combo. Black and purple in a 200-meter diver for $50. Get all up in that. 6 payments of $833. And from Lucien Piccard, the Montoviso in the yellow gold-plated variation with the blue dial and blue leather strap. Oh, yeah. 178670. 6 payments of $9.17. Big 48-millimeter case. VD54 quartz chronograph movement inside and a Sapphitech crystal. 178670. I'm glad you guys are as excited about this watch as I was. This is a big 48-millimeter case, very large for what Rotary typically makes. It's a Swiss-made Rotary. They call it waterproof, which means it will go down to the same depth the human body can withstand, and it will not die. It's a fully functioning chronograph with tons of lume, and it's a payment of only $22.50. Remember, folks, Swiss-made, and it's $135. It defies all logic. 263-494. What are we at now? Number 5? Number 4? Man, those numbers go by quickly. I think it's faster because we go in reverse. You know, like when you drive somewhere, it seems to take longer than the trip home. Trip home is always faster, unless it's a long road trip. It's the middle of the night. You're like, oh God, just get me home before I crash into a tree from falling asleep. Because my wife, she ain't gonna help. She's been sleeping for the past 4 hours. Oh, honey, I'm gonna help you on the whole drive. It's gonna be great. We have so much fun. Yeah, you know what? You were asleep before we left town. Don't give me that. Women are liars when it comes to that whole I'm gonna help you drive thing. No, they just fall asleep. But in their defense, it's because we're stubborn and we'll just keep going. No, I'm going to drive another 10 miles. I'm going to drive another 50 miles. I got it for a little while longer. You just go ahead. So it's really, when you get down to it, it's the guy's fault. And if you've been married for any length of time, you know it is always the guy's fault. I don't care what happens. It is always the men's fault. All right. This is the it's the Legato Cirque from Swiss Legend. 48-millimeter case, rose and brown. And we'll move on now. Jeff says, did you know that there is a Goochland, Virginia? I did not know that. I would like to live there. I would like a t-shirt, better yet, pair of shorts that has the city name on it. So anybody that lives in Goochland, Virginia, I don't know if it's Goochland or Goochland. I don't know the proper pronunciation. Please call into the show, call into the customer service, and let me know. So I'd like a tourist t-shirt from your city. All right. What if it's really humid there? (236-757). We're talking about a Swiss-made rotary. Not just Swiss-made rotary, but a Swiss-made automatic skeleton rotary at only $199.99. That is a price that literally sells itself. 6 payments at $33.33. Number 2 would have been right at home in the Goochland, Virginia. Gucci, the G Timeless. All stainless steel. Amazing bracelet. You're buying a watch here that is basically, it's $900, $990. It's a $1,000 watch. You're buying for $500. You're buying for half price. You're buying for dealer's cost. It is elegant. It is beautiful. 6 payments of $83.33. Don't pass that up. Even if you're not into big fashion name brands, I know a lot of men are not. Do not think about that. The quality of this watch will blow your mind. 262-392. Uh, 244-508, our number 2 seller is the Expedition, all blacked out on the bracelet for $59.99. That's just silly. That's just silly talk right there. That's our number 2 seller? It's number 1? I don't know why I was handed a different watch for number 1 then. My apologies. I did not forget how to count. I just didn't have the right watch. This is number 1. It's the Expedition, all black from the first hour, where you get the tapered stainless steel bracelet. Now remember, the original Expeditions for $100 had the silicone strap and predominantly mirror polished finish. This one, all matte finish and on a bracelet. Yeah, look at that. Woo! I don't know that I would ever try to dress this up, but I think it works okay with a black dress shirt as long as I wasn't wearing a sport coat. But this is your dress down, everyday diver kind of look going on here. 244-508. It is a 200-meter professional grade diver. Features a Swiss-made movement, a Safetec crystal, tons and tons and tons and tons of superluminova. Great finish work. Look at that. Hello. 6 payments of $10. Did we show the loom or did we not? I don't know. I wasn't really watching the monitor. Regardless, we'll show it now. There it is. That is what you get for $59.99. Todd wants to know what's in the cup. I'm sure he's wondering if there's something beyond coffee in the cup. But no, it's just coffee. Tonight's special, oh, what did we blend? We did chocolate and coconut with a mocha creamer. So it's very chocolatey with a nice undertone of coconut. It is quite delectable. It dances on your tongue before it goes down. Oh, God. That's good stuff. Now, are we ever going to get to a Swiss legend that has a Safetec crystal? I have not done a Safetec dance in 1 hour and 42 minutes. What is going on here? I have been sabotaged. No, I'll never do that again. One year I brought out a hammer on the show, and I started wailing on a watch in the middle of the show. That was in my little slideshow I showed you guys, yeah. In fairness, the watch was able to handle it because it had a bulletproof glass crystal. So we were beating on it with a hammer, and we were going to bring out a drill, but nobody could find a drill. Right now, though, we're going to get into the Cartagena. I love the Cartagena. Now, this is the Cartagena on the stainless steel bracelet. The Cartagena I fell in love with is on the leather strap. But for those of you that are bracelet lovers, you're really going to love it. It is a pry-open, dual deployant, by the way. Get your thumb in there. There we go. Very thick, solid end link on a 48 millimeter case. And I'm going to tell you, like I told you before, the fit and finish on this watch will rival watches that cost nearly 10 times as much. Fully functioning chronograph with calendar. Silvertone and black motif throughout. It's about the applications on the dial. Look how tall those hour markers are. Look how tall and concaved the 2 subdial rings are. And then the deep dish nature of the sunken subdials. All of this together with a satin finished dial It is magnificent when you get down to it. Listen, I've tried throughout my entire career to give you the most amount of my personal opinions that I can on the watches I present. Because anybody can come out here with a stack of cue cards next to them and read off the specifications on the watch. Funny enough, the guys that you see print out the cue cards generally don't even tell you how big the watch is or what movement's inside, but I digress. Anybody can come out here and just tell you and rattle off the specs. I like to give you a real feel for what I think about the watch and how I feel that you might benefit the most from using it. If you're the kind of individual that's conservative or sporty or whatever, I try to give you as many examples as I can so you really understand what you're buying. Because at the end of the day, you're buying something on television. You don't get the benefit of seeing it up close. You don't get the benefit of touching it and feeling it and getting a real good feel for what it is. I try to give all that to you as best as I can. And this is one of those watches that it can be somewhat challenging to do that with because you're looking at the price and you're thinking it can't be as great as he keeps saying it is. I'm telling you, when you get this watch and you realize that you've only paid $85 for it, it's going to blow your mind because of the quality level that you're getting into. It's going to blow your mind for the balance and the feel on the wrist when you first put it on. It's altogether one of those watches that I think is a hidden treasure. Now, that's the silver tone black. We also have the rose tone black. 206332. Cartagena. For $85. It is very exciting. Now, speaking of exciting, you go back to October of 2012. Back when the Mayans thought the calendar was going to end and the world was going to end. Remember that? Oh, yeah, you remember that, don't you? Oh, yeah. Wasn't that also the year of the rapture? We had a whole bunch of stuff going on in 2012 that a lot of people on the internet believed. A lot of people. We're all going to die. And either half of us are going to be raptured away, or we're just going to die at the end of the Mayan calendar. We're just going to cease to exist. Really? And I'll be honest with you. I want my family, my children, and then my grandchildren. So I want to see generations go on. So don't get me wrong in what I'm about to say. I want to see everybody live on for hundreds and hundreds of years. But we all have to die, right? I know I'm going to die. I recognize my mortality. I would far rather die in an end of the world celebration than get hit by a bus walking across the street tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Like, wherever you go, if you believe that you go somewhere after you die and you're hanging out with your buddies, right? You're all like, dude, like we're all angels now, man. Check it out. And you're talking and you're saying, I saw the end of the world. People that died like 5 years ago, they're like, oh man, I got bit by a snake when I was taking the kids out camping. You got to see the end of the world. You got to see all these things. And mountains blowing up and seas crashing into the, I don't know, whatever's going to happen at the end of the world. You got to see that. How envious are they going to be of you? I'm just saying, that's the way to go. All right, let's do a Safatek dance here. And you're thinking, well, that's the end of the world for that crystal. This is Armageddon for a mineral crystal, but this is not a mineral crystal, my friends. This is a Safatek. And Safatek is as scratch resistant as sapphire. And we like to prove that to you as often as we can. So I always bring out ridiculously sharp knives. And tonight, one of my favorites, Mr. Kirby Lambert. Oh, yeah. We're going to see if a little bit of CTS Core San Mai will destroy a Safatek crystal. Now, you guys have seen me only once or twice a year take another watch, put it down next to it with a mineral crystal, and do the exact same thing side by side, and destroy that other watch. And yet not leave a single mark on a Safatek crystal-equipped watch. Not only is it really that strong, but we're the only brand in the world that stands behind any crystal in the world with a warranty. If you scratch it, anytime in the next decade, we will replace it for free. Free. There you go. Now here's your loom. Now keep in mind, you're looking at a 200-meter diver. This is not a watch you're going to baby. You're going to knock it around. You're going to bang it around. You're going to wear it during your most active, and I've painted myself into a verbal corner and now realize that, your most active activities. This is that watch. Maybe you're going to go rock climbing. Maybe you're going to go whitewater rafting. Yeah, it's a good way to bang up a watch, isn't it? Fall out of the boat, fall out of the raft. Various parts of your body crash into the rocks. This is why I don't do that stuff. I value not being in pain. Mountain biking. I've had buddies, man, mountain biking. But they're like extreme dudes. Like they're going straight down, 80 miles an hour down these hills and wipe out. Broken clavicle later. They're in the hospital. Oh, why did I ever do that? The watch will survive. 115-575 if you want to get the black with the gray dial. Otherwise, how about this? All gunmetal with the gray dial. And even better, it's on the 5mm thick stainless steel bracelet. Yeah. Thank you, John. John tweets in and says, your honesty, opinion, and explanation is the main reason I buy watches from Weil TV. You'll be missed more than you know. Oh, man, don't get me all choked up now. But thank you. So it says, I'm feeling naughty. By the way, you can tweet in as well. It's not an exclusive club. Just open up Twitter, and whatever you put into a tweet, add @Weil TV chat, and I'll see it. So it says, I'm feeling naughty. I feel like I should have a Jim Skelton hot pick either tonight or tomorrow night. I'm telling you, man, that Omega, that's going to last you the rest of your life. You're going to sell half your watch collection. I promise you. You'll pay for that Omega just with stuff that you go, the Omega's going to replace it. I might as well just sell them. Trust me on that. It is that amazing. I'm sitting here still googly-eyed over it. I still want to buy it. All right. Let's talk about Luminox. Now, we brought out an all-steel color mark diver in the first hour. Remember that? This time, same exact look, all blacked out and all that good stuff, but it's not steel. This is all lightweight carbon. All carbon except for the diver's flip lock safety clasp, the crown, the pushers, and the screws. Everything else is carbon. Oh, super lightweight, each individual link, the case, the bezel, the case back, everything. You've got a 45mm case, and you have T25 tritium gas tubes set into this Swiss-made watch. And that means your luminescence requires no input from you. It's a self-luminous watch. And you'll be getting blue with green. You do nothing. The gas is active at all times, kind of like me after a bunch of burritos. The gas is extraordinarily active at that point and will glow by itself. You do not need to do anything. This watch is impervious to almost everything you could throw at it, even though it weighs next to nothing. And you think, it doesn't feel tough, but it is. It's all carbon and polycarbonate. So it's impact resistant, heat resistant, cold resistant, water resistant to 200 meters. It's life resistant, as our friend Megan would say. Which, by the way, Megan is back next weekend. So be prepared to have fun with Megan next weekend. 236771. 6 payments of $48.33. Are you kidding me? They wouldn't let me in the door. Yeah, that's you know. Yeah. All right. Where do we go? Where do we go from here? Red line, red line, red line. The mileage. You know what's cool about the mileage? The fact that for only, now I really want you to focus on this. I'm not a big focus on the price kind of host, but I want you to focus on the price here for a minute. For $60, you're going to get a 46 millimeter, wears like a 47. You're going to get a 46 millimeter all steel watch with a 21 jewel Citizen Miyota 8215 automatic movement inside for $60. Now, that's downright insane. $60. You as a consumer could not buy that movement for $60. And you know what? It's a really good looking watch all the way around. Is that just my eyes or is it out of focus? Okay. My eyes are really bad. You should see the glasses I have to go through. There's your lume. That's a lot of lume, isn't it, for $60? You know what? I'm going to put the gunmetal version on. That's my favorite of the two. This is the all silver tone with the black dial. And I do like it. By the way, Roy, I really appreciate that you're tweeting in, but remember, you have to put @WowTVChat in the same tweet. Right now, it looks like you made a tweet, forgot it, then followed up with a secondary tweet that just says @WowTVChat, because that's all I can see is @WowTVChat. So if you could, just retweet whatever you tweeted before and put @WowTVChat in there, and I'll be more than happy to reference your tweet live on the air if I can. Now, my favorite variation is right here. $59.99. You get the all gray, all gunmetal, all gray. Oh yeah. $60. Wears like a 47. Big beefy bracelet with solid end links. No cheap, hollow, folded over end links that you would expect at that price point. The hands and the dial super close to the underside of the crystal. Yep. It is exciting. And now, I'm going to switch gears a little bit and go over to Seiko. Now with Seiko, you know you're getting into legendary quality, innovation, accuracy. Generally classic sizes. This is a 43 millimeter case. Definitely nothing outlandish. But what is a little bit outlandish is the type of movement that you have inside. Now, if you've only ever owned quartz watches, I want you to hold on to your pants. Keep your pants on. Hold on to them. Don't let them fall off. Because this is a quartz with a twist, or a quartz with a spin, if you will. We understand the differences between mechanical, automatic, and quartz. Mechanical, pure hand-wound movement, powered by a mainspring, period. Automatic is the same movement with the addition of a set of winding gears and a rotor that spins around on the back side of the watch. With the movement of your wrist, will wind up that mechanical for you. Then quartz, it's a quartz crystal for timing, battery powered, with a little circuit board to control everything. Here you have a quartz movement, but attached to that quartz movement is a rotor, like you would have on an automatic. Now the reason for that is, instead of just relying on battery power and having to replace the battery every 3 to 5 years, they attach a rotor The whole time you're wearing this watch and the watch is in motion, that rotor will move or spin. It charges up a capacitor, which keeps the watch running. If you take the watch off, lay it down, it's no longer in motion. It relies strictly on its battery power for operation. So it's being run in two different ways. And as a result, you will have many fewer battery changes over your lifetime with this watch. Here you've got a classic silver tone in black. Your bezel is black, your dial is black, and that allows your 43 millimeter case to look a lot larger. And you've got the beautiful stick figure hour markers with two Romans, Roman numeral 12, Roman numeral 6. Just a great classic look. White Shirt tweets in, I like that. Says, many thanks, Jim, for the years of knowledge and humor from which I benefited. All the best in the future. You'll be missed. Thank you very much, Mr. White Shirt. I appreciate that. That's very kind of you. Bobby's tweeting in. He says, you know me. Yeah, go for that Luminox. Dude, seriously? That Luminox has you written all over it. It might even make you just a little bit more cool. I don't know. I don't know if that's possible, but it might happen. Okay. I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, it is time to begin our third and final hour here together. I'm always excited about the third hour. It's always a lot of fun. It's bittersweet for me because it brings me closer and closer to the end of the weekend. And tomorrow night is my last night on the air anywhere. That's why the graphics have said farewell show. And I'm not leaving here to go to another network. I am retiring from television, going off to do something wildly different that I will hope to enjoy just as much or maybe even a little bit more. You guys will be able to follow along with those adventures if you'd like to. It may not be on television, but it'll still be, accessible to everybody. Just follow my Facebook page and you can read the updates I've already put on there. If you'd like, you can tweet with me live during the show. I certainly encourage you to do so. I'd love to hear from you right there at Weil TV Chat. Remember, that at Weil TV Chat has to go in the same tweet that you're already sending. You can't follow up later and put that. I'm not going to see what the tweet was. And I believe with that, we're going to get right into the third hour preview, or we're just going to throw graphics up on the screen. Not entirely certain which. All right, now the first item up here, it's not a Seiko, it's a Swiss Legend. This is one of my favorites. It's the Endurance Gunmetal series. Now, it's not just that it's gunmetal that makes me like it, but the gunmetal series are the only versions where we have changed anything on the dial. You've got the black Super Luminova and the ionic colors around the hour markers. And it really is, and I don't want to overuse the term, but it really is something special. There are not very many of these made. When they're sold out, they're usually sold out for the majority of the year, so very few people get the chance to see them. So I would hurry if I were you. Still a 45 millimeter case, even though it looks larger. It is a 45 millimeter case. Next one up. Oh, would you look at that? It's a submersible. We love the submersible, don't we? 115103. It is the violet blue in the 47 millimeter black ionic plated case. Scubador is up next. You've got a 48 millimeter case, blue dial, silver tone subdials. What? I don't know. 84851 on a leather strap. That's all you. I don't know. I don't know because you're saying stuff in my ear and I don't know what you're saying. Okay. Yeah. Maurice Lacroix. Now, guys, this is nuts. This is a $16,000 solid 18-karat rose gold Maurice Lacroix for $3,800. Just think about how much money you're saving here, how crazy that deal really is. If you look at your wife and go, honey, I just spent $3,800 on a watch. As she runs to the kitchen to grab something to throw at your head, tell her, but honey, it's actually worth $16,000. And she's going to stop. She's going to look at you and she's going to go, yeah. That's the whole scam about stuff they sell on TV. They promise you it's worth so much more money, but no, honey, it's a verifiable retail. I just checked. I called my local authorized Maurice Lacroix dealer, and I asked for this watch, and they said it was $16,000 plus tax. And I got it for $3,800. You know what she's going to say? You're my hero. That's exactly how that conversation is going to take place. You know what? For your efforts, she might even take you to the mall and go Build-A-Bear with you. You get a special little, like a Harley Davidson Build-A-Bear. Or a little fireman. A little fireman Build-A-Bear. He'd be so cute. By the way, just so you know, the fireman Build-A-Bear is actually more flammable than the rest. Because like the little fireman's outfit is vinyl. I know, because that's what my 2-year-old has. It is very vinyl. Anyway, 258-923, the more you know. The Bulova Precisionist chronograph in the cushion-shaped case. I love this watch. It is one of my favorite Bulovas made. It's a $675 watch you get for only $400. It's about a 48-millimeter case. And the details are amazing on this watch. I will show this to you live. It's also 300 meters water resistant, by the way. 6 payments of $66.67. Okay, let's do. I can't tell you. Words do not express how much I love this watch and how much I personally want one of these. Oh my God, I just realized after tomorrow I lose my employee discount because I'm gone. I just realized that. So whenever I buy from Weil, and I still will, because who else does these deals? I'm going to have to wait for the shows because that's when you see these crazy prices. Listen, I would not mind getting a $9,250 watch for $8,000, which is what we're doing on our website every day. That's still a nice savings. I think I could probably do better, be honest with you. I'm not going to lie to you. I could probably do better at a couple different websites if they happen to have it. But you know what they can't do? What they absolutely cannot do? Go to $5,000 and still give you the full length of warranty. Okay? Give you a 30-day money-back guarantee, no matter what, no questions asked. And we pay return shipping for you. And you're getting into the Seamaster Aquaterra Automatic Chronograph and GMT. 6 payments of $833.33. Oh my God. Oh yeah. You know, that's funny. Walter is tweeting in, and he remembers a show. And I remember the vendor too, but I won't say who it was. They brought out a watch. I called it the watch with the expiration date because it had subdials like a chronograph, but it was a multifunction. And on one of the wheels, okay, on one of the subdials, it was the months of the year, okay. Then it had the calendar date on another subdial, but the other subdial had the years. There's only so many you could put on there. And it ended in 2012. So it was a watch with an expiration date. You couldn't wear it past 2012 because the watch wouldn't display the date. I know, it was a terrible concept. I don't know why anybody ever bought those. I mean, as a manufacturer, bought that movement, not people buying the watch. Yeah, wow, good memory, Walter. That goes back a long, long time. That was probably like, oh, well, I didn't know it was here. I don't know why this started. Okay. That was about 2006, I do believe. All right, let's get into more Luminox. Now, listen, I know a lot of the Luminox we've aired tonight have been really, really rad, but the prices may be a little outside of what you're comfortable spending. What we're going to do right now is bring out the lowest price of a full-size, men's-size color mark that we've got, okay? So you're getting into a color mark Navy SEAL edition in the full carbon and polycarbonate case. 45-millimeter case, wears bigger. 200-meter diver, Swiss-made, on rubber. $240. Oh. Oh. It's as shocking as being slapped in the face with a wet fish. To know that you're going to get an authentic Swiss-made Luminox that retails for $500, you're only going to pay $239. And to make it even more shocking, we'll put payments on there. 6 payments of $40. $40. And you get the T25 tritium gas tubes on this particular dial. You'll receive all blue tubes with, what was that shot again? We moved off too fast. The 12 o'clock hour marker will be orange, and your sub-dial hands will be green. Very slick, very cool. This is an everyday classic. This is your everyday go-to watch. No, you're not going to wear a suit with this. Maybe you're not a suit-wearing individual. Maybe you're thumbing your nose at the man. I'm not wearing a suit, like what I've done for years. I don't wear ties. Even the years on television that I've worn full suits, I never, ever, ever wore a tie. The only times I've ever worn a tie are the very special shows I used to wear a tuxedo for. Yeah. Well, I had to buy my own tuxedo because we were doing so many of those shows for a while. I actually own 2 tuxedos. I've never used them again. I have not touched a tuxedo in 5 years. Regardless, I don't wear ties. It's my rule. When I was younger, before I got into this career, and I had to go interview for jobs, there were jobs that said you have to wear a suit and tie. I'm like, no, I'll wear a suit, but I will not wear a tie. I will not do it. I've walked out of job interviews because they said I had to wear a tie. You have the job, you just have to wear a tie. No, I will not wear a tie. Number one, it's not my style. It's not me. It doesn't fit my personality. Number two, I get horrible red bumps all around my neck from being irritated when my shirt collar is closed. No matter, and I've had shirts made with larger collars where it didn't rub as much. Still, doesn't matter. Torn up, red line all the way around my neck. I can't do it. Will not do it. Won't put myself through it. I spent half my honeymoon with that horrible, irritated red ring because on my wedding day, I obviously wore my tuxedo with a bow tie, and man, I paid the price. That's all right. 87685, go into the Endurance now, baby. 45 millimeter case. Now, in the preview, I showed you a gunmetal Endurance. I certainly hope we're going to air it. We might just leave it dangling there as a carrot, teasing you with it. Now, this is one of my other favorite Endurance. Honestly, the gunmetal Endurance, no matter what color, those are my favorites. But if you're going to get a silver tone Endurance, this is the one to get. Look at this dial when we get up nice and close to it. This is not your run-of-the-mill everyday dial. This is a tone of blue that we've only used, I believe, only one other time. This is a teal blue. I know it says dark blue, and that makes you think navy blue. It is not. It is a true teal blue. There's some green coming through that blue. It is remarkable, obviously, because I'm making remarks about it. It is incredible. You're also going to be getting into the blue anodized tachymeter style bezel ring. Oversized hour markers filled with piles of superluminova piles. Kirk tweets in and says, thank you for getting me started in collecting watches. Your passion and knowledge are such an asset to all who know you. Oh, dude, that's really awesome. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. And I'm glad, and I love hearing those stories from people where they've gotten started in watch collecting and developed that taste for watches because of watching the shows. I love that. Listen, I love coming out here and doing what I do, but I love it because I know that you're getting something out of it. Whether it's just something as basic as you're getting a nice watch that's going to tell you the time of day, or it's something that's going to spark a new interest in your life, maybe something that you could do with your son or your dad or your wife as a hobby together. Something that you can enjoy and then pass on to the future generations. Whatever stories there are, and there are so many, I'm very thankful that you guys have allowed me into your lives and allowed me to create any influence, however big or small that may have been. And I think the greatest story that I could possibly share with you, just take a minute. I don't mean to get so off track, but it was a story that actually touched me so bad that I had dealt with this right before a show, and I almost couldn't go on the air because I couldn't kind of keep myself together. There was a gentleman that had, I don't know, I guess kind of a falling out with his father over the course of his lifetime. Him and Dad didn't get along for the majority of his life, and then toward the end of his life, they started watching the shows together as something to kind of bond them. It was kind of like, well, their fathers and sons may go fishing or go hunting. That kind of became their thing, was watching the shows every weekend, and also on Wednesday nights, and they would kind of compare notes and enjoy the watches, and they would buy watches for themselves and for each other, and that was kind of like their thing. And unfortunately, the father fell very, very ill. He was hospitalized, and they knew that he was going to be passing on. And see, it still messes with me all these years later. The gentleman had purchased one more watch for his father. I'll never forget. It was an Invicta Lupa. He purchased it for his father, and the day that it arrived, he took it up to the hospital to show his dad. And his dad was at that point where he really didn't communicate very much. He couldn't speak any longer or anything like that. He was having quite the struggle there at the end. And always messes me up. So he brings the watch in, he opens up the box, and he shows it to him. He says, Dad, this is from me to you. This is something special for you. And he was able to signal to him to put up on the shelf where he could see it from his hospital bed. And he says he hadn't seen his father smile in a long time because of all the pain that he was in. And he smiled. And they watched the show together, and he picked out that watch, and he bought it for him. And it was kind of like their thing. And for whatever reason, they only watched the hours that I was on the air. So I kind of became a part of their hobby and the special thing that they shared. And that night, after receiving that watch, he actually passed away that evening. And he emailed me and said, this was one of the most special moments I ever shared with him, and I did that because of you and because of the shows that you were hosting and the great watches that you brought out. And the last memory I'll have of my father is smiling at something that I did for him. So, yeah, I mean, it's a silly watch show. We come out here, we bring out good watches, we bring out great watches, we bring out Swiss watches, we bring out high prices, mid prices, low prices, and we do all kinds of crazy stuff in between to get your attention and hope that you're going to buy something and enjoy it as much as we do. But for some people, it's more than that. And some people, it's more important than that. And to know that I've been able to be involved in some small way in some of these people's lives, it really does truly humble me and amaze me. And, I can't thank you enough for those opportunities that I've had over the past 10 or so years. So anyway, I just wanted to kind of share that. It's one of my favorite stories. And I know it's kind of depressing, but it really is a happy story in the end. So anyway, just wanted to share that with you. Let's get into the next item. There it is. There's the other endurance in the gunmetal with the black Super Luminova 131509. That is your item number there. And one more to show you. That's very quickly. It's just going to be the all rose plated variation. 122445. I'm going to take a quick sip of my coffee and just kind of regain my composure. As we make our way into the submersible. And I love these tweets as they come in. Mike tweets in and says, "Is this the first time that you've been told someone is watching you from their bathroom?" Yeah, Mike, I do believe so. And thanks for that. I appreciate the visual. Anyway. Now, we had this. I can't air this because it's still not right. If you order this, you're going to get a purple watch. The one I have out here is blue. You will get a 47 millimeter black ionic plated stainless steel case with a true purple dial and purple strap. I promise you it is very, very purple. 115103. So let's move on to the next item, which will be, is this a Raymond Weil? Yes, Raymond Weil! There are a couple Raymond Weils that when you see them, they signify that brand. And the Tango is one of those models. This is their classic gentleman's dress watch. Sport dress, I should say. This sport elegant watch can be worn every day. If you're not a collector and you don't care about having 20, 30, 50, 100 watches, you just want a great watch to wear all the time. You don't necessarily need a watch for dressing up and for dressing down. You just want one that does everything. You're simple like that. This is a great watch for that. You're buying a watch that you can wear every single day and never need to rely on another. If you're wearing shorts and a polo shirt, or you're wearing a three-piece suit, this watch is going to work for you. The diameter, and I do want to double check that very quickly here, because this is one that looks bigger than it really is. I believe it's a 40. It is. It's a 40 millimeter case. Wears like a 42 to 43. No lie, it does look that much bigger. All stainless steel and all silver tone. Even the dial is a matching silver tone. You're going to get black hands, and you're going to get the black, individually hand-enameled Roman numerals. Super slim, under 10 millimeters in thickness. Solid end-link bracelet, thick solid multi-link construction, dual deployant push-button clasp with the custom Raymond Weil closure. So we bring one side over, and then the next, and that little button drops right into that recess. It's like a beautiful piece of jewelry. Now, this is a watch that when you go to buy it in retail, and you have to understand it's Swiss-made, it's got sapphire crystal, it's going to be pricey. They charge you $1,050 for it. Dealer's cost is over $500. That's what the dealer that sells it to you pays for it. We're bringing it out for $400. We're bringing it out below dealer's cost. And look how beautiful it is on the wrist. This is one of those classic beauties that will never go out of style. This is not following any fashion trends or any trends in the watch industry. It's a classic. It will look as good in the year 2030 as it does here in 2015. Yep, that's 15 years from now, my friends. Where are you going to be 15 years from now? Where are you going to be in 2050? Whoa! Think about that, man. And this watch is still going to look every bit as good. 202273. I want to go back, if I can, and revisit that submersible. Turns out it's the graphics and the picture that are wrong. We changed the graphics to reflect that it's blue, but I'm going to show it to you live because the video you see there is purple. If you order this, you will not get purple. You will get royal blue. We have done two different shades of this watch. We've done this, the royal blue, and we do also make a pure purple. This is blue. Now, it's funny because that server shot, when it goes to my top monitor, looks blue. In my bottom monitor, it looks purple. So I don't know how your TV or computer monitor at home may view this. This is going to be a royal blue, just like our Neptune, as a matter of fact. Now, why is the submersible so popular? because so many people love the Russian diver style of watch, but cannot wear a 52 to 62 millimeter traditional size of them. It's just too big. It's never going to work out for them. This is a 47 millimeter. Still going to be big, still going to be oversized, but so many more people can now wear it. You're going to get that traditional canteen style crown protector. Because when you go back, back in the 1950s, they didn't have a way to waterproof or make a case water resistant like they do today, where we have gaskets in the crown tube extension. They simply remedied that by putting a cap over atop the crown and screwed it down. Voila. Yeah. So what you've got is an homage to the past. a little nod to the past. You've got a military-inspired dial with those stencil-style numerals. But you've also got a sandwich-style dial. So the main dial is blue. The dial underneath is coated in C7 Superluminova, and that shines through the cutouts in the top dial to create that effect. Guys, what you're looking at here is so far beyond the $60 price point. You've got a Swiss-made movement. It's the ISA 2331. You have a Sapphire crystal, which I've displayed already tonight. Is very, very, very difficult to scratch. You may never scratch it. It will rival sapphire and comes with a 10-year warranty for replacement. C7 Superluminova, 100 meters of water resistance. Super soft silicone strap. Super soft silicone strap. The 4 S's. If you were to abbreviate it. $115,103, 6 payments of $10. Choo-choo. Oh, the scuba door. The scuba door. Nope. Not one person has tweeted in and caught on to that yet. Not one. So you guys were missing a very important element to this show that I've never done before. Yeah. Nobody's caught on to it yet. We should have just made screenshots each time and showed them rat-a-tat-tat at the end. Been like, oh my God, how did I not see that? Oh my, That is your typical 20-something white girl who wears Uggs everywhere. Oh my God, I can't believe it. I can't even. You know what? Yes, you can. You can even. Just put your mind to it. 84851. Dean asks, what is my Facebook page? I know it's shocking. It's Jim Skelton. Now, when you search, there's going to be a bunch of Jim Skeltons, oddly enough, but only one has My Ugly Mug. I can't friend anybody because I've been at that limit since I opened the page, but you can follow. You can click the follow option and follow my page. And I make everything public now. Nothing's really private anymore, so you'll see everything as I do it. All right, 84851. You get a 48 millimeter case. Oh, locking pusher guards. This was something we did to be just a little bit different. When you see things like this, you usually see it over the crown. Protects the crown from being snapped off if you bump into something. We decided we're going to do pusher guards. Prevent you from accidentally activating your chronograph if you bump into things. Here's your Superluminova. Now you might be thinking, 48 millimeter watch, chronograph, might be a little bit too big and sporty for me to wear dressed up. Nay. Nay. You can wear this dressed up. It is a sport, elegant design. The leather strap is what makes it. There it is. Now, I cannot guarantee that you're going to look anywhere near as sexy as this when you strap it on. But I'm betting you will. At the least, it'll make you 10% more manly. And we can all use a little bit more. Just a little bit. 84851, navy blue dial, silver tone dial plate. This is powered by the Swiss-made ISA 8172 day and date quartz chronograph movement. You've got 100 meters of water resistance. What more could you ask for? Thank you, Anthony, for that very touching tweet. I appreciate that so very much. Now let's go to something wildly different. Different in size, different in its execution and its complications. This is a 40 millimeter men's watch called the Mubra. quite a bit smaller from the majority of things that we tend to bring out. Classic 40 millimeter gentleman size. And it's also going to have complications we don't typically see in our watches. Watch this. As we come in closer, we see the day of the week. Then we see the month of the year. I don't know. Then we see the calendar date. And you know what else? Keep an eye right down there. Oh, that is your animated AM PM indication. Now it's 5 p.m. The sun's going to start going down. Oh, the stars are coming out. And there's that beautiful crescent moon to display the PM hours. Now, just in case you and your homies don't have access to a window, just in case you or your homies do not understand how to open the window shade, and you have become constantly perplexed as to whether it is day or night, your watch will now display that and let you know. For both you and your homies. Now, all kidding aside, I've always loved having either a moon phase or an AM PM indicator. This is the latter. Because it is something that's very elegant, very old world elegance that you would see in a grandfather clock, you know, but you see that now on a very elegantly appointed dial on your wrist. Beautiful, genuine leather strap perfectly accompanies that champagne dial. It was just put together well. Oh, thank you, Roy. I really appreciate that, man. I really, really do. But I'm not leaving for any other reason except for I just want to, I'm chasing a dream, man. I'm chasing a dream. I'm going to do something really cool, really fun, really special. I love everybody here here at Weil TV. We've got an exceptional crew. You know, sometimes we butted heads, you know, in the past. But, you know, I think we all genuinely like each other. And I leave here knowing that everybody is in a really good place. I look how well everybody gets along and the teamwork that goes on around here. I mean, it used to be chaos. I'm not going to lie. It was crazy here for a while. And you guys have come together and just done such an exceptional job. And that's the thing I'm going to miss the most. So, my awesome crew. Don't start, because then I'm going to cry. Jeff tweets in with a fun fact. He says, fun factoid, Goochland is the county seat of Goochland County. I'll be honest with you, I don't know what any of that means, but it sounds great. If there is a seat on the Goochland County Commission, I would like to be able to announce to the world that I am the Goochland County Commissioner. I would move there for that. So if anybody there is in any public office in Goochland County in Virginia, please do let me know, because I'd like to apply for a position. Deep in the heart of Goochland. Dan, thank you so much for that tweet. Says, watching Jem on his final weekend on TV. Gonna miss you on the show, but still can hang with you on Instagram and USN. Yeah. Good old Instagram. By the way, if you do dare to follow me on Instagram, I promise you will be offended within 48 hours. I make that guarantee. Bulova Champagne. Now, for those that don't know, the champagne comes in 2 flavors tonight. The one vibrating is the one, obviously, I love the most. So you have a three-hand variation or a chronograph variation. We're going to get to the chronograph in a moment. If you want something a bit more simplified, you want to focus more on the beauty of the dial and less on the complications that you may not even need, the three-hand version is for you. Now, please remember, the precisionist movement is the world's most accurate movement. They run within 10 seconds per year of accuracy. Now, you want to say 10 seconds per day, because that's what you're used to hearing, seconds per day, when speaking to the effective accuracy of a movement. But this is 10 seconds per year. And since the average battery changes every 3 to 5 years, it won't even be off by a single minute when you go to change a battery. How awesome is that? So you know that every time you put this watch on your wrist, no adjustment needed, it's always going to be 100% accurate. Another thing that you're going to love is the style of this watch. Let's take a look here from the side first. So you've got this beautiful brushed finish on the side walls of the case. The lugs come out from behind the sides, and they're mirror polished. The bezel, curved this way and concave curved this way, is a rather unique shape that is fully checkered all the way around. That is a very fine checkering that's been done all the way around, with mirror polishing on the top surfaces. Then you get to the bracelet. Nearly 5 millimeter thick bricks. The center links are wedge-shaped. They get narrower toward the bottom, then they start over here again, and that wedge has a little bevel slabbed off of it. On an all satin brushed finish, it's that little wedge, it's mirror polished, along with the two supporting links next to it. Then your outer links go back to being brushed. It is truly one of the most beautiful bracelets you're ever going to put on. Look how the light dances across every surface. It is a 300-meter diver with a carbon fiber central dial, a black textured dial ring that has been, or dial plate I should say, it's been bolted on top of it. And then you get to the perlage decorated main plate below. That's not the movement, that is actually a dial. It is absolutely beautiful. It's a big 48 millimeter case. And here's your loom layout. Oh my God, Chris, Charger Chick, I have not seen you in forever. Oh my goodness. So awesome to have you tweeting in with me. Chris, since you and I are friends on Facebook, send me a message on Facebook and I'll just tell everybody. If you are daring enough, and I promise you this is not for children, do not let children near your phone when you're looking at my Instagram. It is not watch related. It will offend you. It's Jim Skelton TV. So by all means, go for it. Not for the faint of heart, I tell you that right now, in all sincerity. All right. 89235, here it is on the wrist. It plays big, believe me, but it looks good. It feels good. I love the Champlain. Now, my personal pick is this one. This is absolutely mind-blowing. This is the chronograph variation that we're going to after leaving the three-hand. The big difference here, the only difference here, is the precisionist movement inside will now be a chronograph. Kevin, please try retweeting that by putting @WildTVChat in your tweet, because all I see is @WildTVChat. So I need both of those together in the same tweet. All right, now here's the difference. I'm going to hit this extra pusher and watch the big yellow hand, the chrono hand. It is right now operating as the seconds indication for your time of day. I'm putting it in chronograph mode. When I start the chronograph, it's like watch is gone wild. White hand, is 1/10 of a second. That yellow blur is a yellow hand that will indicate 1/100th of a second. Down here is a retrograde that displays 1/1000th of a second. 1/1000th of a second. Then you have your minutes and hours totalizer up to 12 hours. Now, I reset it like I would any other normal chronograph, but then watch what happens. When it resets to 0, that's not doing anything. Well, that was a seconds hand a little while ago, wasn't it? When I hit this pusher, it is going to catch up to the internal timing that it has kept for the seconds and carry on as if it never stopped. Watch, here it comes. Here it comes. Oh, it's bingo. How awesome. And that's why I fell in love with this watch. That's why I feel I need this watch on my wrist. And you can get it, not at $800, but $479. And even better, and I'll be honest with you, now that I'm not going to be an employee anymore, I can use the stress-free payments. And I will. You bet your booty. $79.90 to bring home an $800 Bulova Precisionist. Rad. 161272. All right, I got to move on. I got more stuff to get to here. I got some more Maurice Lacroix. Let's talk about value. Let's talk about investment grade. I've never told you in my entire career the pitch line that others have, which is, that's low price. It'll always be worth more than you paid. It'll always be worth more than you paid for it. It's a great investment. Listen, watches are a terrible investment. It's like any other consumer good. It is going to depreciate in value. There's just no way around it. Very few things actually appreciate in value. And investments these days, you used to always be able to say, oh, real estate is the only real investment that you're getting. No, because we've learned that even real estate, that market crashed, right? Listen, the only way you could consider any watch to be an investment is if it's made of a precious metal, because that's a commodity. Now, it's all going to be about timing, of course. Think about this. What we have here is a solid 18-karat rose gold watch. The entire case, case back, bezel, and buckle are solid 18-karat rose gold. If you had bought this watch 10 years ago, gold was trading in the realm of $450 a troy ounce. Today, it always hovers around $1,000 a troy ounce. So had you bought this 10 years ago at any price, it will have gone up in value about 4 times in the past 10 years. Now that means at that time it would have been a great investment. Now if you buy it now, gold prices could go down tomorrow. You don't know. Here's the trick though. This is sold at retail, verifiable retail of $16,000. You're buying it for $3,800. So just based off of that, you are saving so much money that I don't really see a way that you could lose money on it if you had to resell it for some reason. But think about this. You're buying it today in 2015 for gold prices from 2001. Already, you're ahead of the game. The gold content in this watch, you are paying less for it today than you would have over 10 years ago. So it is, in my opinion, one of the very few watches I could say could be viewed as an investment. I'm not saying you should buy a watch as an investment, of course. But what you want to think about is this. This is a watch that if you go into a store tomorrow, it really is selling for $16,000. You know that you just paid $3,800. Just think about that. Just think about the savings on that. You saved about $12,000. That's insane. Automatic movement, Subdial 6 gives you the seconds. Calendar at the 3. Everything about this watch is elegant and beautiful. Beautiful crocodile strap. Very short strap. I will give you that warning. If your wrist is if your wrist is 7.5 inches or larger, you will have to put a longer strap on it. I'm sorry to say, but you will. But when you're saving about 12 grand on this watch, I think you can afford a strap. It is magnificent. It is guaranteed authentic. It is guaranteed brand new. And you're getting the full length of original warranty. All right, we're going to move on into this beautiful Bulova Precisionist. This is another one that I love. This is the cushion-shaped case. This is another one I keep going back and forth with. I really want to buy it. If I wanted to buy everything that I liked, folks, I would be broke and divorced. There are just too many really great watches out there. And this one is another one of them. Look at that. Cushion-shaped cases are my favorite case shapes. I love the fact that it's on leather instead of a bracelet. It would look great on a bracelet, don't get me wrong. But there's something a little bit more hardcore about this, having it on this pebbled leather. I think it looks great. Great contrast stitching, super well overbuilt, very thick. Stainless steel case with black ionic plated skeletonized bezel. Look at the edges here. See how you can see the case through those skeletonized cuts. This watch will adjust down to only a 7-inch wrist. It will not go smaller, so do keep that in mind. It's got the same precisionist chronograph movement I showed you in the Champlain. It's a $675 watch for $399.99, and then your payments come into play. Pay $66.67 a month, and you will get this on your wrist. I can't stop staring at it. I love this watch. Jim tweets in, Jim, have really enjoyed your shows over the past few years. Thank you, Jim. Are all Precisionists going to have a sweep seconds hand? Yes, they all sweep as if they're automatics. They run at 8 times the beat frequency of any other quartz movement that Bulova has used, so you're getting into a wonderfully smooth sweep hand. All right, we're going to end the show tonight with 2 of my favorite watches that we internally make here. One is the Redline Cruiser in the Silvertone black and red. You guys know that I've owned this and worn it for over 2 years. It's a special watch. It's a 45 millimeter that you will swear on your life is a 47. It has the red anodized bezel, the red swedge on the dial, the red subdial rings, and the red crown. It pops. It screams. The fit and finish is beyond amazing. Super thick, very heavy bracelet with solid end link construction, dual deployant clasp. These are 100 meters water resistant. They look and feel like something that should be over $1,000. Not an exaggeration in any way. I have a hard and fast rule. I will not buy a watch that does not have a date display. This does not have a date display. That's how much I fell in love with this watch. I broke my most unbendable rule. I bought a watch without a date display because I loved it that much. And you will too, trust me. And when I bought it, it was a lot more expensive. These were about $100 back then. It's now $60. You're seriously stealing this watch. You cannot get a cooler deal than this. And then, the Lume. Oh yeah, BGW9. White that glows blue. It's a great look. It really is. Take it from me. This has been a watch that's seen many a movie theater for me. Those house lights go down, it gets pitch black in there. I look down, I got that soothing, cool blue on my wrist. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? It looks like I'm wearing something that should be over $1,000. It just looks great. 148874. I want to try and squeak out one more watch, another favorite of mine. You guys know my #1 favorite Lucien Piccard ever made is the Cartagena Silvertone with Silvertone dial and brown leather strap. And that's what we're going to end tonight's show with. If there was only one watch for you to buy tonight and you couldn't afford the Omega that I chose for you, buy this. It's $70. Don't laugh. You're thinking, $70. Oh, what a piece of... No. $70. And I promise you, it will match up to any $1,000 watch you lay it next to. No lie. It is that nice looking. The fit and finish is amazing. The details and appointments on the dial alone are worth so much more than what you're paying. The color combination, having a silver tone case, silver tone dials, silver tone sub-dials, but with the black tachymeter scale bezel and the dark brown leather, it's just classy. For a big 48 millimeter sporty style, it's got a beautiful, classy look. Love this watch. Sapphitech crystal, guys. Every bit as scratch resistant as sapphire. VDI quartz chronograph movement with a fast runner at the 12 o'clock position. So what you've got here is accuracy, reliability, and a handsome package that comes with a 5-year warranty. Here's your lume. And you know what? I'm going to bend some rules here. I'm on the way out the door. I don't care. I'm going to show another watch after this. I don't care that it's really recap time. I'm living life on the edge. I'm spitting into the wind, which is pretty much what I always do. And upper management will tell you the same. Look at that. Wow, look at that. So there's something about, and all of the Cartagenas are nice. Please, by all means, go check them out on WorldofWatches.com. For me personally, it's the look of silver tone with the black bezel and the dark brown leather. It sings to me. It really does. And for $11.66, how can you possibly pass that by? It's like nothing. You don't even feel that when you're buying it. You know, it's like when you go to the doctor and he says, I'm going to give you a shot, I'm going to stick it in your butt. And you're thinking, oh man, because you're watching it come. You're like, that's going to go in my butt? That's going to hurt. And then, boom, he gives you the quick shot, and you're like, so when are you going to do it? I'm already done. You didn't feel a thing. That's what happens when you buy things on the stress-free payments. $11.66. It's like that shot right in the butt. You're not even going to know what happened. $11 balance on a credit card is nothing, right? Super simple. By the way, we have just a quick mention here on this Bulova. This is an Accutron 2, so you're going to get more of a fashion watch out of it. It's going to be a very, very, very affordable price. It's an automatic that sells for $550, yet you're paying $329. It's the same bracelet that we saw on that Moonview. So if you like that Moonview bracelet, but you weren't crazy about the round case, here is the Snorkel in a cushion-shaped case with an internal rotating bezel under the crystal that's operated by the crown at the 2 o'clock position. Thought you might dig that. It's pretty cool. 6 payments of $55. But we are going to end on a Bulova Precisionist. This is the other one. I have 3 that are pulling at me. The Champlain chronograph, the cushion-shaped case chronograph we just showed you a few moments ago, and the diver chronograph. Those are the 3 I'm deciding between. And I'm going to show it to you live. Just going to go straight to it because it is so awesome. It's a big 48 millimeter case. Not the one on your screen. I apologize. That's not the one on your screen. This one. 48 millimeter case. Look at the thickness of that bracelet. Those are 5 millimeters in thickness. 5 millimeters. It is massive. It is heavy. Again, getting into the same precisionist chronograph movement. 200 meters water resistant. I apologize, 300 meters, isn't it? No, it is 200. That's one that always baffled me. The dressier ones are 300. The diver one is 200. Go figure. I don't know. 200 meters water resistant. Certainly far beyond what you're ever going to need. And look at it here on the wrist. Big and beefy. Gotta tell you, I really have a hard time deciding. And I sell myself on watches all the time. You think you've got it bad? Guys, I play with hundreds of watches every week. And I talk myself into 3 or 4 every week. But if you're using the stress-free payments, it might be a little bit easier for you. You're paying only $78.33. It's probably going to be a lot more affordable than anything else you've ever gotten your hands on. Definitely a good way to do it. All right, my friends, that is it for me tonight for the live presentations, what we're going to do. I don't know, has anybody caught on? Nobody's tweeted, nobody's caught on? I don't think I should tell them. Every time the camera has come back to me, I've been wearing a different pair of glasses, and not one person has noticed. I even brought out crazy ones, and nobody noticed. And now I'm not wearing any. All right, let's get into the recap. Recap is we're going to start with the number 1 seller and work its way down. And I do believe our new number 1 is one that we didn't even air tonight and wasn't even in the top 10 an hour and a half ago. Let's see what it is. I have to put glasses back on so I can see what it is. Ah, it's a Maurice Lacroix Pontos rectangular automatic chronograph. The titanium case with the rubber strap. And here's why it's the number 1 seller. Guys, you're buying a $5,000 watch for $1,250. You have a Valjoux 7750 automatic chronograph, fully decorated movement in there, and 6 payments of $208.33. When was the last time $200 got a $5,000 watch on your wrist? Probably never. Probably never. Nuh-uh. Whoa! We slid into the Gooch, number 2 seller for the night. Gucci, the G Timeless, a $1,000 watch. $1,000 watch for $500. Ladies and gentlemen, you're buying it for dealer's cost. It is a Swiss-made timepiece, and it is absolutely beautiful. It truly is. And I can't wait. Oh my God, I can't say that anymore. I used to say I can't wait to hear from you guys next week when you get them, but I'm gone. Holy crap, that came out of nowhere. I didn't even feel that one coming on. All right, so yeah, I hope you enjoy it. I'll never know if you do. Let's now talk about some Bulova. This is our number 3 seller. This is the BVA Series 120 automatic in the bigger size. It's a, 46, 47 millimeter. Beautiful watch, really great size. Definitely has that full-size play and feel to it. Guys, you're getting an incredible value here. $450 watch for $270. It's so easy